for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah. What's up? This that boy Coach Malachi Williams in the building. We back. New Media Today, USA Boxing. We are back. We are here. And we ain't going no goddamn well. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. I just left the gym, guys. Just left the gym. Just got through doing a quick little run. No training today. Didn't have to train anybody, but you know, just had to get me a quick little something in there, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. You know how we do it, man. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get started. Today is TWD. Sorry about that. I got a peppermint in my mouth, guys. So unprofessional. Put on my paper. Today is TWD Sundays. TWD Sundays. You know, dunk riders. Yada, yada, yada. TWD Sundays, man. It is what it is, man. You know, normally, man, Sunday, everybody be chilled out. Everybody be relaxing. Everybody be doing their thing, you know, hanging out with the family, going to the beach, chilling, you know, trying to recuperate, getting ready for the brutal work week that is coming ahead. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here in the United States, most people work Monday through Fridays. But, you know, you get what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? So, don't nobody like Mondays. I do. I love Mondays. You see what I'm saying? Mondays is probably my favorite day of the week. You know what I mean? Because I get a chance to get started on a lot of work. You know what I mean? A lot of work that I want to do and get the hammer stuff down. And a lot of times we get so busy in life that we don't get a chance to accomplish any of the stuff that we set out to do. So anyways, man, shout out to everybody. Give everybody a round of applause. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about the main man, Devin Haney. We're going to talk about the Lomachenko. We're going to talk about JoJo Diaz, Mr. JoJo Diaz. And we're going to talk about, what's the other guy's name? Ryan Garcia. We got to. I haven't covered any of this stuff. A lot of the other YouTube channels have been covering it. But I said, you know what, man? I sat back and I looked at everything. I watched what everybody else was doing. I watched Bill Haney go on other platforms that he normally go on and talk, say what he has to say. I've watched other fighters go on different platforms and say what they have to say. And I just been sitting back watching. And so now I don't have an affiliation with anybody. I told y'all, New Media Today, USA Boxing stands on its own. We don't have an affiliation with nobody. Have other channels I rock with, in that aspect. But affiliation, no, I ain't affiliated with nobody. I have no bones in the fight. I have no affiliation with Devin Haney's family, his dad. I have no affiliation with Ryan Garcia, his family. I have no affiliation with nobody. So I'm going to tell it the way I see it. You see what I'm saying? Because I have to. I'm going to tell it the way I see it. So other than that, guys, that's it. Let's get into this. Shout out to my main man, Jose Lopez.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Damon Wester.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Jizams.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Southpaw Killer.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to the Queen Lisa Bells.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Furian Survivor. And shout out to Graham Taylor.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Beautiful One and Ivan, what the lick read.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Halim in the building. What's happening?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to It's Cold in the Winter and Graham Taylor, what the lick read.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Peter Von Arts. What's happening, brother?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to who else? Well, Kaboom, Lady Shan in the building. Shout out to Lady Shan.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to who else we have? Ignorant Boxing. What's going on, fam? Michael Knight of the Knight Rider.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to my main man, Charlo. What's happening, fam? Shout out to Carne.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Shane and Thomas. What's happening, brother?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Bernard Burton. What the lick read?
Hey, okay.
Jay Rodriguez. What's happening, bro?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to PED. What the lick read?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to the Bon Kiki. Bon Kiki. What's going on, fam?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Emmanuel. What the lick read?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Thomas Jones.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to who else we have in the building today? Shout out to Wizard Sleeve. Wizard Sleeve, what's going on, fam?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to my brother, Exclusive. What's going on, brother? Salute to you, bro. For real though.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to who else we have? Rob Real Shows. What's going on, man? Hey, Rob, you got a channel? If you got a channel, let me know, man. I want to subscribe to your channel.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Brendan Jackson. What's going on, fam? Dude, bro, what the lick read, fam?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Carne O'Connor. What's going on?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Evis Mencia with the lick read.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to let's see. Shout out to Hector Garcia. Big Heck. What's going on, fam?
Hey, okay.
Yeah, man. It is what it is, man. Let's get into this. Now, as I said before, man, I sat back and watched, been watching the Chitlin circuit, watching a lot of stuff going on, man. I realized I have never made a video. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I think I made 1 or 2 videos about Devin Haney, a while ago, right? But other than that, that's it. I know I haven't really covered them, but it's some things that I've been noticing that I just have to come out and talk about it. I have to come out and talk about it, and may hurt some feelings, but guess what? I really don't give a damn. I'm on nobody's side. I'm not down with your cliques, your crews. I have no affiliations with no boxers in any way, form, or fashion. So I don't have a dog in the race. I'm going to call it the way I see it, period. So other than that, warning to all the fanboys. If you are a fanboy of a particular fighter and I say something that offends you, guess what? I will not be apologizing today. If you are a fanboy of a particular fighter, or if you are a beta male and you get offended very easily at the words that are coming out of my mouth, guess what? I would not be apologizing today. If you are a Ralph Transvent, man with sensitivity, Chico and El DeBarge, real light skin acting, Christopher Williams, Keith Sweat, always crying all the time ass nigga. Guess what? You might not want to watch this show, and I will not be apologizing today. Remember that. If you are a narrative pushing channel, you like to push certain narratives, and guess what? And you go attack everybody who doesn't put the same narrative. Guess what? This might not be the show for you today, sir, and I will not be apologizing. Over here at WBC Today USA Boxing, we stay locked and loaded. We're going to give it to you as unbiasedly as possible. I am not on no one side. I am not with your crew. I care nothing about the East Coast, West Coast beef. I care nothing about that. Only thing we care about is the sport of boxing. So if you want to push the sport of boxing and stay away from the narratives and stay away from the unwarranted biases, WBC Today USA Boxing is the channel that you want to be at today. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you are watching this video, please like the video. Support the old boy. This is what it's going to be, man. So all of the fanboys, all of the beta males, and all of the alphabet boy supporters, guess what? If I offend you today, you might not want to watch this show today. And this is what I do. I am the king of pissing people off. So let's get into this, guys. Now, a question is being posed by me. And I have seen a couple of other channels out there. I'm not going to lie, guys. I've seen a couple of other channels out there, really talk about this subject matter. And I've watched everybody from, depending on what side of the fence you're on, some people, the anti-Devin Haney crowd, Devin Haney, they don't like Devin Haney, and they never say anything favorable to Devin Haney. You know who you are. And then you have the pro-Devin Haney crowd. They always say stuff favorable to Devin Haney, towards Devin Haney, and they kind of like are fighting the other narrative that's coming from the anti-Devin Haney narrative pushers. I just say that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to try to be as nice as I can about it. Me, guess what? I'm not on your side, homie. I'm not on your side. I'm going to call it the way I see it. So I may offend some of everybody today. But anyways, let's go ahead and do this, man. Shout out to my main man, John Doe.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that quarter of a dizzub on your boy. Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy. John Doe say the industry ducking Haney. Lego. WBC set him up with that belt, bro. He need to drop the belt and start calling people out. You know what? Yeah, I've been hearing that. I've heard that on John Doe, to be honest with you, about the belt and stuff like that. I do say the belt comes with certain perks. And now, if the WBC set him up, then that tells a lot about Mauricio Sulaiman. That's who I'm shooting at today. I'm shooting at Mauricio Sulaiman. Yeah, his name is not in the title, but I'm shooting at him as well, because I know you got some people, they like to kiss Mauricio Sulaiman's ass. Guess what? I don't give a damn about Mauricio Sulaiman. Don't give a damn about him. I don't. You know what I mean? Don't give a damn about Mauricio Sulaiman. I don't give a damn about the side that you represent, East Coast, West Coast. Man, I don't give a damn about none of that shit. Because guess what? That shit ain't got nothing to do with advancing the sport of boxing. I didn't come in this game to make friends, homie. I got enough friends. All of my friends, they don't do the YouTube stuff. I didn't come in this game to make friends, homie. Might want to reconsider. But anyways, check it out though, man. So this is what I'm saying, right? So I just want to get to the bottom of this. Now I'm going to tell you guys the way I see it. Now, I wanted to ask the question, right? Because we hear this. I'm going to pick it back on what you're saying, John Doe. You know what I mean? I want to know why Devin Haney is being ducked by Golden Boy Promotions, by their fighters like JoJo Diaz and Ryan Garcia. I'm going to tell you exactly where I'm going at with this. You see what I'm saying? Now, either Devin Haney has some of the most bad luck in the world when it comes to the sport of boxing, or he really is being ducked. This is the question that we're going to talk about today. Now, what is the definition of a duck? The definition of a duck to me, and this is my subjective opinion of what a duck is when a fighter physically refuses to step into the ring with another fighter by turning down a fight. That's my definition of a duck. If you are a champion and you are avoiding your mandatories, other guys who's supposed to fight you by dropping your belt, that is a duck. So if you are a fighter, I don't give a damn what your name is, and you drop the belt, and because you refuse to fight your mandatory, and then you ask to get a franchise belt, what I like to call the French fries belt, your ass is a duck. I don't give a damn who it is. Now, if you are a mandatory and you refuse to fight the champion when you are mandated to do so, well, you are not mandated, but even if you're mandated or if you're a mandatory and you're the guy that's next up in line and you're supposed to fight this guy, and you say, you know what, I'm a mandatory, that means that I'm the next guy that's going to be in line to fight for the championship. You know what, I'm going to pass on that. I don't want to take that fight. If you are a mandatory and you did that, guess what? That's a duck. If you have fans that make excuses for why a particular fighter should avoid another fighter, and that fighter avoids him by listening to his fans, guess what? Your ass is a duck. Devin Haney has had 3 fighters who have physically refused to fight him. Some people are going to disagree with what I'm going to say, but from my perspective, that's the way it went down. Now, there's 2 arguments to this, but I'm telling you how I see it. I'm not here to get you to disagree with me. It's okay if you disagree with me. I have no problem with that. But back in 2019, Vasily Lomachenko dropped his WBC championship belt. Remember that 2 years ago? And he petitioned to become the WBC Franchise Champion. Devin Haney was the interim champion, right, at that time. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Devin Haney was the mandatory to Lomachenko, if my memory serves me correctly. But Lomachenko dropped the belt. So when Devin Haney received the belt that was dropped by Lomachenko, people say, oh man, but Devin Haney ain't no real champion, yada, yada, yada. You know, he got his belt in the email. But guess what? Lomachenko dropped the goddamn belt. So if the belt makes you the champion, and then we know what happened. Teofimo Lopez fought Lomachenko. He beat him. Now all of a sudden, the franchise belt is a non-transferable belt, according to what Mauricio Suleiman said. I have the receipts on that. Now, all of a sudden, the WBC, the franchise belt, is a transferable belt when Teofimo Lopez is fighting and get the belt. And now, guess what? Oh, he's undisputed. Nah, hell no. Okay, so what about Devin Haney? Oh, well, you know, so if you don't like Devin Haney, oh man, you know, man, shit, man, you know, we don't really like you, Devin Haney. So guess what, dog? You didn't really fight for the belt. Lomachenko dropped that belt. But you know, so you got the belt, but you really don't have the belt. So really, Teofimo got the belt, even though he don't have it because you have it. But if Lomachenko never would have dropped the belt, then he would be, you know. So it's a whole bunch of bullshit going on. I'm not with the East Coast West Coast beef. I don't give a damn about it. You fall out with me, fall out with me. I don't give a damn. I really don't. I'm not talking about nobody in the chat. I'm just saying these narrative pushing people. I don't give a damn. I got enough friends on me. Trust me. Anyways, now Devin Haney was the interim champion, as we know at the time, and Lomachenko was the mandatory. If he was the mandatory to Lomachenko. So in other words, in my opinion, when Lomachenko dropped that belt, he ducked him. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Now, as it relates to Ryan Garcia, as we know, was Devin Haney's mandatory for the WBC strap. But Ryan Garcia refused to fight Devin Haney for a championship, and he withdrew his mandatory position. I remember this like it was yesterday, right? So, in other words, he ducked him. He ducked him. Now, JoJo Diaz is the WBC mandatory for Devin Haney's WBC strap at 135, as we know. JoJo Diaz fights on DAZN. Devin Haney works with DAZN as well. He has his own promotional company. And he is promoted also by Golden Boy Promotions. Golden Boy Promotions works with DAZN. I think their fights are being hosted on DAZN, right? Now, Devin Haney fights, I think Devin Haney fights with DAZN kind of like on a fight-by-fight basis, guys. I think he fights with him on a fight-by-fight basis. And Jorge Linares is a Golden Boy fighter, and we did see that Jorge Linares and Devin Haney fight each other. That was no problem. No problem at all. But for some strange goddamn reason, Oscar De La Hoya releases a statement on Twitter basically saying that there is no truth to the Diaz and Haney fighting next. Because we heard that they was in negotiations. They was in negotiations to be fighting each other. You know what I mean? So hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Right now. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Now, we know that JoJo Diaz, now De La Hoya saying that they're not working out anything. They're not in any negotiations in order to fight. Right? JoJo Diaz is the mandatory. He is Devin Haney's mandatory. But according to Oscar De La Hoya, that fight ain't gonna happen. So that means that that's the second mandatory that's coming from Golden Boy that's refusing to fight for a championship. That's the way I see it. I don't give a damn how you slice it, how you dice it. Now, Oscar De La Hoya also said that he has other plans for JoJo Diaz, meaning he is going to refuse his mandatory position to fight Devin Haney to become a champion. And to me, that's a duck. Now, again, do I know Devin Haney? No. Do I have a relationship with Devin Haney's father, Bill Haney? No. Do I want what with him? No. Do I want to interview with any of these fighters or any of their trainers? No, I don't. Don't want no interview. I'm good. I'm fine. But I'm going to call this the way I see it. Now, so since Devin Haney cannot get his mandatories to fight him in the ring, what I want to say is this, and this is to Bill Haney or whoever. Let Devin Haney know that I will throw my hat in the ring and I will fight Devin Haney myself. I will reach out to Mauricio Suleiman, since he causes a lot of goddamn confusion with this old ragged-ass WBC belt and franchise belt and all of this stuff there. I will reach out to Mauricio Suleiman, try to reach out to Bill Haney, and I try to reach out to Devin Haney on Instagram, and I even reach out to Eddie Hearn over there and those guys over at DAZN to see, can I get some of that Devin Haney smoke? And the reason why I'm saying that, guys, because it seems like these other fighters from Top Rank and Golden Boy are ducking Devin Haney. So I got a question I want to ask everyone in the chat. Do you feel like Devin Haney is being ducked by JoJo Diaz? Do you feel like Devin Haney has been ducked by Ryan Garcia? Now, you may argue whatever about the Lomachenko thing. If you want to do that, we can talk about that too. But once he dropped that belt and Devin Haney was his mandatory, in my opinion, that was a damn duck. I don't give a damn if he's your favorite fighter or whatever. I ain't down with nobody. Remember that. I'm not down with nobody. I'm part of the only boxing content creator. I have no relationship with no fighters or no managers or none of that. Because what I notice is when you have these relationships with these people, you know, if you say the wrong thing, these people will get mad at you and turn on you. And then it may lean towards you feeling that you feel like you have to represent for that person. I'm representing for New Media Today USA Boxing. I ain't down with nobody. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna call it the way I see it. Now, do you guys feel like Devin Haney is being ducked by JoJo Diaz? After JoJo said that, you know what, man, we trying to make that Devin Haney fight next, yada yada, and he's a mandatory, and if he fight Devin Haney and beat him, he can become a champion. When have you ever heard of a fighter having an opportunity to become a champion? You fight to become the mandatory for the champion, and then they turn the goddamn fight down. And then Devin Haney gets blamed for ducking when the motherfucker. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that if you got kids. This is a kid-friendly show. He get accused of ducking when the other guys are refusing to fight him. Or do you feel like Devin Haney don't deserve to fight with fighters like Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko, or even JoJo Diaz? And these fighters did the right thing by refusing to fight Devin Haney. Let's talk about it. Hey, listen, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Got that merchandise dropping soon, too. Anyway, let's get to the super chat. Now, shout out to my man on Y2K.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that quarter of a dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He said Ryan Garcia ducked Haney as the mandatory, but then Ryan was going to fight Fortuna to become Haney's mandatory again. You can't make this up. Man, you can't make this up. Shout out to Troy Graham. Shout out to Troy. You can't make this up. Let me go ahead and we're gonna go straight to the chat. We're gonna go straight to the chat. Shout out to my brother, my co-host, Shelton Moore. This is my guy right here. This is my main man right here, Shelton. I'm down with Shelton. Yeah, man. Shout out to Shelton, man.
Hey, okay.
For real though, man. Listen, have you ever heard of a mandatory? A guy fighting to become a mandatory, so to put himself in a position that he can become a champion, and he turned the fight down.
What?
Have you ever heard of a fighter that has become the mandatory challenger to a champion, and when that opportunity comes, he turns the fight down?
What?
Really though?
Okay.
I can't make this up. But depending on what side of the fence you're on, you want to push a certain narrative because of your relationship. I don't have a relationship. I don't care nothing about the relationship. I care about the sport of boxing. That's all I care about. Where I'm from, we don't do no dick riding. For no interviews, for no nothing.
Hey, okay.
I have people tell me all the time, man, you need to reach out to such and such, man, and see, can you get them on the show and do this and do that and yada, 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 yada. Nah, I see everybody else do that and I see how that turn out. Say the wrong thing, they mad at you. Say the wrong thing, they mad at you. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Here's some dude, bro. What's up, dude, bro? He said, I agree that Ryan and JoJo duck, but I don't completely agree with the Loma ducking. I have to go back and do research on the timeline and the mandatory intern position.
Hey, okay.
You know what, dude, bro, you might be right about that. Again, I'm kind of, I got to go back and, because I was looking at some things the way I saw. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do this. Let me show you guys something. This is the article. Dude, bro, check this out, fam. Let me share this. Let me share this. Dude, bro, tell me what you think about this, fam. Tell me what you think about this. Check it out. Tell me what you think about this, dude, bro. Hold on, fam. You remember this article back in 2000? I think this was back in 2019, dude, bro. Lomachenko named the WBC franchise. Haney upgraded to full. Now, this is where the confusion came in at right here. This is the root of everything as it relates to the Devin Haney hate or the anti-Devin Haney push that I feel like that I've been seeing, and just all of that, right? Mauricio Suleiman. I have you in my sniper, sir.
Hey, okay.
I have Mauricio Suleiman. This is the way it started at. Lomachenko named the WBC franchise. Haney upgraded to full. Let's read this. Now, this was written by Jake Donovan. This is October 23rd, 2019. Now, check this out, dude, bro. Yeah, Troy, I see you. I see you. Wait, let me do this. He said that it's not the way that he wanted to earn the distinction, but Devin Haney is officially boxing's youngest title claimant. Now, everybody got mad at Devin Haney. Oh, man, you know, he ain't the real champion. Yada, 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 yada. Devin Haney, he received his belt via email. Guess what? It ain't Devin Haney goddamn fault that he didn't fight this guy. If the guy dropped the goddamn belt, how in the hell you gonna blame Devin Haney? He made a decision to drop it. Unless you saying that with Devin Haney ducked Lomachenko. And if you feel that way, you're going to have to show me something. Now, I do have a video right here that a brother sent me. The video that he sent me was when let me see. I have it right here. The video that he sent me is when Mauricio Suleiman tells Devin Haney, Pops, to stop capping. Well, this is what somebody said. This video right here. I have this video already. As a matter of fact, let me see, can I pull it up? Let me see, can I pull it up? Because I know what they're going to say. Hold on. I know what they're going to say. Hold on, guys. Let me see, can I pull this up? Because when you know what they're going to say, you got to know how to address that too. So I know what they're going to say, right? I know what they're going to, I already know this. I know what they're going to say. But I want to say this. Now, is this a pro Devin Haney video? No, it's not. Again, I don't have a dog in the race, but I'm calling it the way I see it, right? I don't have a relationship with no goddamn body. No fighters, no managers, no promoter. I ain't got a relationship with no goddamn body. So won't nobody be able to come and say, oh man, the only reason he's saying that because he got a relationship with such. Man, I don't give a damn about the relationship, dog. Not me. I'm good. You know what I mean? New Media Today, USA Boxing, we finna take off like a rocket, and I won't need neither one of them. Because I know what I'm doing on this stuff, right? So now, this is what was sent to me today. Shout out to my brother for sending me this. Now, I remember this. I remember this video here with Mauricio Suleiman. This guy was UK boxing. You know, he got 200 subs. UK boxing. When Mauricio Suleiman told Devin Haney, he didn't say stop capping, but basically he was saying that he was saying something of the sort that Bill Haney never petitioned to fight Lomachenko and all of this stuff there and yada, yada, yada. Something of that sort. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Something of that sort. So this here is supposed to be the proof that hey man, Bill Haney is capping, and you know Devin never asked to fight Lomachenko and yada 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 yada. My question is, was Devin Haney the mandatory to the WBC strap? And if he was, why? Forget all of that. Forget all of that. Why did Lomachenko drop the WBC belt? That's the question. That's the question that I want to know. Why did Lomachenko drop the WBC belt? Dude, bro, what you say, fam? He said, I don't remember that article, but I remember the news of Loma being upgraded to franchise and Haney being upgraded for a champion. Yeah, for sure. For sure, dude, bro. That's what I was saying, fam. Like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's finish looking at this article. Peter Varnock said Haney has the belt. Why should he have to petition fighters? They should be petitioning him. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, that's crazy. But listen, hey, check this out, Peter. Check this out, fam. Let's look at this. This is a legitimate question. Now, sorry about that. This is me, guys. Now we know about this. So this is the evidence that people have used. See, this is proof that Devin Haney, you know, I guess he ducked Lomachenko. He didn't want to fight him, whatever the case may be. The question I want to know is this. Was Devin Haney the mandatory to Lomachenko's WBC strap when he had it? That's one. And two, why in the hell did Lomachenko drop the belt? Now, we knew Riddick Bowe dropped the belt when he had to fight Lennox Lewis. Well, now, listen, when a fighter drops a goddamn belt because he refuses to fight another fighter, that's ducking. I don't give a damn how you call it. I'm going to call it right down the middle. You want to know why? Because I have no relationships with none of these guys. I don't know Bill Haney, and guess what? Well, I won't be reaching out to him. I see him on the Chitlin circuit with the other channels. I let him go ahead and do that over there. I won't be reaching out to him. Not because I dislike Bill Haney. I like Bill Haney. I love the father that he is to his children. This is a good man. He did a real good job for his children. And he take damn good care of his children. He's a good father. So I love Bill Haney for that. I love any father who takes care of his children. So I have nothing bad to say about Bill Haney at all. Nothing bad to say about Bill Haney. But this dude right here, Mauricio Suleiman, you is full of shit, sir. And guess what? You'll never have to worry about me begging for an interview from you. Never. I'm not going to do it. Do I dislike Mauricio Suleiman? No, I don't dislike him at all. But to me, he is the author of confusion. Guess what? Now, let's go back over here. The unbeaten 20-year-old lightweight was upgraded from intern to full-blown WBC Council 135-pound champion. Now, this is Devin Haney. A lot of people hating on Devin Haney of how he received the belt. Guess what? It ain't his goddamn fault that Lomachenko dropped the belt. And look, guess what? If Lomachenko dropped the belt, Lomachenko dropped it for a reason. Oh, we finna get into Ryan Garcia with he's a social media, Ryan Garcia is he's an Instagram model. He's not a fighter, he's an Instagram model. For all you Ryan Garcia fans, if I hurt your feelings,
Hey, okay.
it is what it is, homie. So we know he's an Instagram model. We know that, right? So we ain't worried about no Ryan Garcia right now, but we gonna talk about him. So anyways, this is why people mad at Devin Haney. Because another fighter that was a champion dropped his belt. Oh man, he dropped the belt. So did nobody get mad at the dude for dropping the belt, but they mad at the guy who received the belt. That's funny how that worked out. Now it says the ruling came Wednesday afternoon during the ruling. As a matter of fact, let's do this. It says the ruling came Wednesday afternoon during the ratings review portion of the WBC annual convention in Cancun, Mexico. Haney's upgrade came as a result of unified and now former WBC titleist Vasily Lomachenko being named as the sanctioning body's franchise champion. That's funny. The French fries belt, better known as the duck belt. They say, well, Devin Haney need to drop the WBC belt. Anybody who got that French fries belt need to drop that shit. The French fries belt is not the real belt. The WBC belt is the real belt. Well, now they're saying that Mauricio Sulaiman is confusing every goddamn body. I'm not confused, sir. I understand that you are the author of the confusion. I'm not confused at all. But anyway, let's keep moving on. The move came at the request of Top Rank, whom promotes Vasily Lomachenko and is grooming the three-division titleist and pound-for-pound entrant for what was previously pitched as an undisputed lightweight champion showdown, with the winner of the December 14 clash between IBF titleist Richard Comey and unbeaten mandatory challenger Teofimo Lopez. So let me break this section down right here, guys, because this is where the confusion is at right here. So now, apparently, Lomachenko dropped the belt. He dropped it for a reason. He dropped it for a reason. Say what you want to say about Devin Haney. Lomachenko dropped this belt for a reason. And I'm pretty sure if I was lined up to fight Lomachenko, he wouldn't have dropped this belt. So we're not going to play these crackhead games today. I'm not with the narratives. I'm not on your side. None of that. I'm not with your clique, East Coast, West Coast, none of that. Y'all can have all that. Right now, we're talking about this right here. Lomachenko dropped this belt for a reason. I don't care how bad he is, the Matrix, whatever the case may be, and I like Lomachenko. He's one of my favorite fighters, but I'm not going to cap for him. So anyways, Lomachenko dropped this belt for a reason. After he dropped the belt, Top Rank requested that Lomachenko get the French fries belt. Now, if you guys don't know, the French fries belt, according to this guy, he said that the French fries belt is a non-transferable belt. Meaning, if Lomachenko cannot lose this belt to anyone. Next thing we know, Lomachenko fights, he receives the franchise belt. He fights Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez beats him. Now they're saying that Teofimo is supposed to be undisputed champion. And that the French fries belt is the belt that's the superior belt now. Nigga, please. You know how we know that's some BS? Because this guy right here said that the franchise belt is a what they call it? It's a man, I forgot the word I'm looking for. It's not a belt it's a designation. It's a designation belt. Oh, we're gonna designate you being the franchise champion. So what's the difference between? And now you're saying that belt is going to be the main belt now. Oh yeah, but you know how we know that's full of stuff? I'm gonna tell you how we know that's full of BS. If Teofimo Lopez fights Kambosos, if that fight goes down, we know it's happening, but we're gonna see if it really happens. And if Kambosos beats Teofimo Lopez, will Kambosos be considered as undisputed? Will he get that franchise belt? Guess what? I'm pretty sure he will not. So we're not going to play these crackhead games about this guy's supposed to be undisputed, but yet if he loses to Kambosos would not be able to get the franchise belt. So that means that franchise belt is not non-transferable, depending on who you are fighting. Oh yeah, I went there. So let me get this straight. So if your narrative is Teofimo is the champion, the undisputed champion, which he's not, then that means that the franchise belt should be able to be transferred to Kambosos if Kambosos beats Teofimo Lopez. If Kambosos beats Teofimo Lopez and he doesn't get that WBC franchise belt, what does that tell you? That mean that the franchise belt is not the superior belt in the first place. How can one fighter receive a non-transferable belt that's a designation and be considered a undisputed when none of the other sanctioning bodies is recognized this guy's being undisputed? That's one. And two, if Kambosos beats Teofimo Lopez, he cannot become undisputed because the franchise belt all of a sudden is non-transferable now. This guy is the roots of the confusion right here. This is what I'm saying, guys. This guy is the author of the whole confusion. It's not Bill Haney. It's not Teofimo Lopez. It's not Lopez Sr. It's not Devin Haney. It's not JoJo Diaz. It's not Ryan Garcia. It's this guy. Mauricio Suleiman is the author of the confusion. Period. I'm going to address everybody in the chat. Now, it says here the youngest in the world. So Devin Haney is he's the youngest world champion in boxing. Haney tweeted Wednesday, though not necessarily in celebration fashion. Now, it says the process is similar to how Jamal Charlo earned the distinction of becoming the WBC middleweight titleist. The Houston, Texas native previously served as the interim titleist to the full belt held by world middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez. Oh yeah, y'all ain't see this coming. Alvarez was named the sanctioning body's first ever franchise champion. Its intent is to allow superstar fighters such as Canelo Alvarez the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights without fear of being stripped of a title from failure to satisfy mandatory title defense obligations. Oh, y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me though. Oh no. Y'all don't hear me though. I told you, boy, I'm finna piss a whole lot of people off. This French fries belt. Remember, everybody jumped down Jamal Charlo's throat. Oh man, you know, man, he received that WBC belt. He ain't no real WBC champion. He ain't have to fight to get the belt. It was handed to him via email. Guess what? The belt never would have been handed to Jamal Charlo if Canelo Alvarez never would have dropped the belt. Now, I know that Jamal Charlo turned down an offer, from what I've heard, to fight Canelo Alvarez before in the past, but that has nothing to do with this. My point is this here. The franchise belt is a designation belt. It's a non-transferable belt, right? We know this. The franchise belt, which I call the French fries belt. So now, this is a belt that they made specifically for Canelo Alvarez. It says this process is very similar to how Jamal Charlo earned the distinction to become the WBC middleweight champion. The Houston, Texas native previously served as the interim champion, right? And guess what? He received the WBC belt because Canelo Alvarez dropped the belt. So, far as I'm concerned, and you guys know Canelo is my pound-for-pound favorite fighter. But Canelo ducked this dude here at this particular moment. This was a duck. I don't care how you slice it or how you dice it. He was named the sanctioning body's first ever franchise champion because he dropped the belt. Its intent, what's the franchise champion what's the franchise champion? What is that belt purpose? It said the purpose of this belt is intent to allow superstar fighters such as Alvarez the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights without fear of being stripped of a title from failure to satisfy mandatory title defenses. So let me get this straight. So a fighter, the franchise belt was designated to give to whoever, Mauricio Suleiman, this guy right here. He created this belt. He created this belt, right? He created this belt. Let me see. He created this belt specifically for superstar fighters. So if a superstar fighter does not want to fight a mandatory, this belt, this designation will allow you to avoid fighting that mandatory without fear of being stripped. I don't know what the hell that is then. If that ain't a duck belt, whatever what it is, who got something to say about this? See, this is Mauricio Suleiman. This is the guy that I see a lot of people capping for. You capping for this dude. You capping for this dude. Right? You capping for this guy, but this guy, Mauricio Suleiman, specifically say here that they created this belt. They created this belt for superstar fighters, such as Canelo, the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights. So basically, we're going to give you this belt, baby boy, and you ain't going to have to worry about being forced or mandated to fight a mandatory. You can pick and choose who you want to fight. That's what this belt is for.
Hey, okay.
It's right here and right. Now, is it a knock on Canelo? Nah. Canelo's still pound for pound my favorite fighter. But the franchise belt is a duck belt. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care how you dice it. We got to keep that same energy, dog. The franchise belt is a duck belt. I don't care what you say. Because according to what Mauricio Suleiman put right here, he said this belt is intended for superstar fighters such as Canelo or any fighter, or such as Vasily Lomachenko, or whoever this belt is in possession of. This is a chance for any fighter to avoid fighting certain fighters, and you can pick and choose who you want to fight. That's what this says right here. Now, is this a knock on these fighters? No, but I got to call it like I see it. A duck is a duck. I got to call it like I see it, dog. This is not based on, well, dude, this is my favorite fighter. How you going to say that about my favorite fighter? I care nothing about your favorite fighter. Hell, I care nothing about my favorite fighter. When it comes to that, you see what I'm saying? I'm just got to call it like I see it. This guy right here, this guy, your boy, Mauricio Suleiman.
Hey, okay.
He said that this belt was created to allow superstar fighters the opportunity to enter into blockbuster fights without fear of being stripped of a title or failure to satisfy mandatory defenses. So every other fighter has to satisfy mandatory title defense. But if you get the franchise belt, you ain't got to worry about that. So when people say, damn, man, David, when people say Devin Haney is an email champion or Jamal Charlo is an email champion, yeah, how did they become an email champion? What they fail to realize to say is the other guy dropped the belt. Why would he drop the belt? Because that guy was the mandatory to the belt. And for whatever reason, that fighter decided to drop that belt, he dropped that belt. Period. I don't care who it is. This ain't about your feelings. This ain't about, listen, man, put your pom-poms down. And we ain't doing none of that today. I'm calling it the way I see it. Now, let's go over here. Troy wanted me to drop the link. I got some other stuff. I got some other stuff I want to show too. So Louis James says, so basically the franchise is just a title stating that a fighter is top fighter and is great, but should not be an actual belt to fight for. Exactly. That's my whole point. That's my whole point. So if Louis, so if the franchise belt is a belt that, if the franchise belt is basically a title just stating that you're a top fighter, I mean, so that means that belt is specifically subjective to you. Nobody should be able to beat you and win that belt. Especially when this guy, Mauricio Suleiman, originally said that this belt is non-transferable. Paul Evans says, if you drop a belt, it's ducking, no doubts. Abe says, that belt is confusing. The more you think of it. It is. Again, this is not a knock on any fighter. This is not a knock on any fighter. Now, if you're a fighter and you petition to, hey man, listen, dog, I want a petition to be upgraded to a franchise belt. Kind of like what Vasily Lomachenko, what Bob Top Rank them did. Why would you petition? Why would you petition to become a franchise belt when you got the real championship belt? That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you petition to do that? He said you make your franchise belt with the logo. Why would you petition to do that? Why would you petition? You got the real belt, the WBC Championship belt. You got the real title. Why would you drop that belt and petition to get another belt? That's a designation. So don't tell me about, oh man, but see, Mauricio Suleiman said this. Mauricio Suleiman said that. Yeah, Mauricio Suleiman is the root of the confusion. Nobody's holding him to the fire. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's holding him to the fire. So I tell you what, I got me a franchise belt too. I got me a franchise belt too. Here go my belt. Here go my belt. I got me one too then. You see what I'm saying? I got me one too. This is my belt. This is my special designation right here. I got my belt too. Mauricio Suleiman is the author of confusion. That's my whole point. Mauricio Suleiman is the reason why we have all this doggone drama.
What?
Mauricio Suleiman is the reason why we have all of this drama.
Okay.
Really though. He is. He's the one. He's the one. I just read it to you. Now you got all these other channels that's talking about, you got people who representing for Devin Haney. That's cool. And then you got people who don't give a damn about Devin Haney. That's talking bad about him. But let's look at this, guys. I'm on Twitter. Michael Benson. This is what Michael Benson says. He says, I've never seen a situation in boxing before where a fighter has had 2 consecutive mandatories win their final eliminators only to then turn down world title shots against him. Devin Haney could be about to have, he said, Devin Haney could be about to make a bizarre bit of history. So this is what Michael Benson is saying. He's saying that he has never, and Michael Benson has been around a long time, he's never seen a situation in boxing history where a fighter has had 2 consecutive mandatories. Ryan Garcia, he beat Luke Campbell, and JoJo Diaz. Yeah, this is what he's talking about. 2 consecutive mandatories win for the final eliminators. So if all you guys who don't know what a mandatory is, that means you are the guy who is next in line for the title. Same situation with Crawford and Sean Porter. Well, that's kind of different because the WBO mandated Sean Porter to fight him. But Sean Porter was the mandatory he was the #1 contender for a whole year. They removed him, put Ortiz there, yada, yada, Virgil Ortiz. But anyway, I don't want to get off track with that. But Michael Benson is saying that he's never seen nothing like this. Just imagine, guys, just imagine Sugar Ray Leonard fighting to become the mandatory to fight. Let's say Hearns was the champion. Sugar Ray Leonard fighting to become the mandatory to fight Hearns. And then he turned around and say, no, I don't want that fight. Just imagine Mike Tyson in his prime fighting to become the mandatory to fight Tibbs. You know, to fight for a championship. And he say, no, I don't want that fight. Imagine Lennox Lewis, or imagine, we'll do a current fighter. Let's do a current fighter. Imagine Canelo, or imagine Caleb Plant fighting to become the mandatory for a person who has the belt, the championship. And that fighter says, you know what, man, no, that's okay, dog. I know I'm the Mendo, but I don't want that. This is what Michael Benson is saying. Devin Haney has had both of these guys come from Golden Boy. He's had 2 fighters just say that they don't want to fight him. And they the mandatory to fight him. And if they beat him, they can become the champion. He's never seen nothing like that. I've been watching boxing a long time, and I remember when Riddick Bowe threw his belt in the garbage because he refused to fight Lennox Lewis. Riddick Bowe ducked Lennox Lewis. Facts. He had a press conference where he threw the belt in the garbage can. Now, for whatever the reason may be, people may say, well, it was business was the reason why he didn't want to fight Lennox Lewis. Whatever the reason may be. It could have been financial. It could have been religious. It could have been whatever the reason may be. When you throw your belt in the garbage can because this guy is the number one guy, he's petitioning to fight you. He's going to fight you next. You have to fight this guy, and you say, you know what, dog, I'm gonna throw my belt in the garbage. Guess what? It's the same goddamn thing. Gotta call it like I see it. Gotta call it like I see it. Listen. When Canelo dropped the WBC belt, for whatever the reason he may dropped it, he ducked. When Vasily Lomachenko dropped his WBC belt and petitioned to become the franchise, guess what? He ducked. When JoJo Diaz is now saying that he don't want to fight, well, it was really Oscar De La Hoya. But let's move over here because this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing right here. Hold on, I'm finna pull it up. Ryan Garcia had the petition. He had a petition to fight Devin Haney. Do you guys remember this? This is March. I want to say this is back in March. This is back in March, right? Ryan Garcia had a petition to fight Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia he petitioned to remove himself for being the mandatory. I remember that. He did that. Ryan Garcia did that. The Instagram model, Ryan Garcia. I call him the Instagram model. I don't even call him a boxer. He's an Instagram model. Do you guys remember that? So this is why Devin Haney is on Instagram and stuff, talking about the Golden Girls and all this stuff there. Now we see that JoJo Diaz, right? Where is that? I got it right here. I'm going to look at it right here. Now we see that JoJo Diaz. We know that JoJo Diaz allegedly was trying to work out the fight Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney next. We heard Eddie Hearn go on Twitter and say that, yeah, we're close to making the deal with Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz. Oscar De La Hoya comes out and says something totally different. He says that, hey, man, listen, man, there's no truth or validity to the point to where there's anything close to negotiations going on with Golden Boy, JoJo Diaz, and Devin Haney. As a matter of fact, let me show you guys right here. Devin Haney is voicing his frustrations, and Oscar De La Hoya responded. There you go, right here. Let me show you guys this. So Elijah say, I know it's off discussion, but I want to know why we can't get Mayweather versus Pacquiao too. Yeah, bro, that's yeah. I have no idea as related to that. Devin Haney posted the Golden Girls. They call Golden Boy Golden Girls, right? And, they're showing Ryan Garcia. He's sitting there looking all booed up. I know a lot of Ryan Garcia fans going to be mad, but I don't give a damn. I ain't a fan of Ryan Garcia. So, no, I'm not. No, he's a nice kid and all that stuff there, but I'm not into that, like that Instagram modeling. That ain't my thing. You got De La Hoya right here. You got JoJo Diaz and you got Jorge Linares. Now, I don't know why he's here. Jorge Linares fought Devin Haney. So I don't know why he's here. You know what I mean? But this guy's, he have a change of heart. This guy said something different. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what he's saying. I'm going to show you guys exactly what he's saying. Now, this guy, we know this guy right here. We know this guy. So this what's going on. So Oscar De La Hoya says right here, he said, I would never hate my man. He said, this is funny. He said, you're a beast and very talented. Your time will come when your promoter learns how to move you. What the hell is he talking about? Your time will come when your promoter learns how to move you. Oscar De La Hoya, what the hell are you talking about? JoJo Diaz is the mandatory to fight for the championship belt. What in the hell are you talking about, sir? What are you talking about, sir? JoJo Diaz is the mandatory to fight for the belt. What the hell you mean when your promoter knows how to move you? Devin Haney has his own promotional company. Like, what the hell, what do you mean? Nigga, is you going to let JoJo fight Devin Haney or you're not? Obviously, you're not. So that's two Golden Boy fighters who are Golden Girl fighters or Golden Boy fighters, however you want to say it, that's refusing to fight Devin Haney, and that's been the mandatory. That's what I'm looking at. Am I down with Devin Haney? Do I know Devin Haney's family and stuff like that? No, I don't. Don't know them. Have no personal relationship with them and will not be reaching out to them anytime soon. Do I have a relationship with JoJo Diaz and Ryan Garcia and no people on that side? No, I don't. Will not be reaching out to them and have no desire to. I'm good. But I got to call it the way I see it. One guy, they say he ain't fought nobody. They say he's pillow fist. Yada, 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 yada. But everybody pulling out to fight him. So we got to keep that same energy. That's what I'm seeing. No bias. I'm calling it the way I see it. I have to call it the way I see it. So anyways, let's find Oscar De La Hoya. I need to find Oscar De La Hoya. I could have swore I had this set up. Where's Oscar? Let me find Oscar, guys. Let's find De La Hoya. Let's find Oscar. There you go, right here. See what the hell, well, let's see what the hell Golden Boy talking about. Let's see what the hell Golden Boy talking about, guys. Because I think he put a statement out basically saying that they have, wait a minute, wait, hold on. They might be here. He put out a statement basically saying they are moving JoJo Diaz in a different direction. He's saying that we're going to move JoJo Diaz in a different direction. This is what he says, right? We're looking on his Instagram. I don't know. I can't find it right now, guys. I had it up. Sorry about that. But it's out there. De La Hoya basically put out a statement. He's saying that they're moving JoJo Diaz in a different direction. So we're not moving you in the direction of becoming a champion by fighting Devin Haney. We're going to move you in a different direction. I don't get it. I kind of agree with Michael Benson. I agree with Michael Benson here to where he says that he's never seen a situation to where a fighter fights to become the mandatory to a champion. And all he has to do is beat that champion for him to become a champion himself, and they turn it down. Anyways, let's do this. Let's address everybody. Let's address the chats. Let's address the chats. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this? Because I say Mauricio Suleiman, as it relates to the franchise belt, is the author of the confusion as it relates to this whole WBC mess. He's the author of confusion. So you got team, I hate Devin Haney, or I don't hate Devin Haney, but I do hate him on the low. He ain't the real champion. While refusing to acknowledge that this guy dropped the belt. This is how he became a champion. Wow, what you got to say about this? We got Ryan Garcia pulled out. He was a mandatory. He, petitioned not to be the mandatory. And then now JoJo Diaz, Oscar De La Hoya saying that we going in a different direction. Your promoter needs to know how to move you. Bro, like what the hell is that? This is teach. What you say, fam? Those Golden Boys. Yeah, listen. Peter Von Off, he just say, man, De La Hoya has been screwing Rashidi Ellis too. Yeah, Rashidi Ellis. We don't even know when he gonna fight. John Doe say, for once, somebody is spot on, bro. I gotta be spot on. Now, I know what I'm saying goes against the narrative. I know what I'm saying goes against the pro JoJo Diaz or the pro Ryan Garcia, Golden Boy, or the pro as it relates to the franchise, Canelo, or the pro Teofimo narratives. I get all of that. Guess what? I care nothing about the narratives. I'm not trying to be down with the narrative. I'm not trying to be down with you. And if you fall out with me because I'm not pushing your narrative, stay falling out with me. And I mean that. I'm not pushing the narrative, dog. I'm not doing it. Shout out to Philly Fly.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that $5 piss out on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He said Oscar is just bitter because Eddie Hearn took Canelo, so it's punishing Haney. Oh yeah, shout out to salute to Major Key Boxing. Major Key and Troy Graham was in the building, or were in the building. Southpaw Killer, what you say, fam? He said the fighter Oscar would take the challenge. He said the fighter Oscar would take the challenge with Haney, but the promoter in him is like, I ain't got Canelo no more, so I can't afford to lose. Yeah, you know what? Benjamin says, what are you talking about? Haney almost got put to sleep by Linares. What does that have to do? I mean, Devin Haney got hurt in the Linares fight. That's true. What does that have to do with two mandatories refusing to fight him? Explain that to me, sir. What does that have to do with that? Huh? What does that have to do with two mandatory fighters, Ryan Garcia and JoJo Diaz, now not refusing to fight him? He got hurt against Linares, a guy who he beat for 12 rounds. He beat the brakes off of Linares. Linares landed one good shot. He hurt Devin Haney. That is true. He did hurt him now. But it's boxing, Benjamin. It's boxing. It happens. Fighters get hurt. Arlette would say, sis, you say, he say they're jealous of this kid, Devin, because he's young, rich, black, and he is his own promoter. That's what some other channels are saying too, Arlette. Shout out to my brother Charlo. He say Major Key boxing salute. Oh yeah, shout out to Major Key. Damon, he said, not sure why people call fighters ducks when it's clear that promoters and networks are in complete control. Damien, I get what you're saying, fam. I get what you're saying. And guess what? You're right. Damien, you are right in what you said.
Hey, okay.
You're right in what you said. Promoters and networks are in full, complete control. But I say all that to say this. When a fighter that has nothing to do with the promoter or the networks, when a fighter decides to, hey, I am going to give up my belt. I'm not being forced to by a network. I'm not being forced to by a promoter. I'm doing this under my own conscience. I am going to drop this belt because for whatever reason, I don't want to represent it. I have it anymore. That has nothing to do with the network or the promoters. Shout out to Irish Boxing Bro. He says Devin needs to jump to 140 ASAP to get into position for the belts of Josh Taylor when Josh Taylor drops and move up. T.O. and Tank and the rest will end up at 140 anyways. Yeah, you're right. I think they'll end up at 140 anyways because all of them guys struggling to make that 135. He said, I like Haney and want to see him succeed. I don't know if his Shin and Powell, I will let him know. But this is the thing, Jeff. We'll never know what he can do or what his Shin can do or whatever if he don't get in the ring with other fighters. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't sit here objectively, because I'm a very objective person. I can't sit here objectively, Jeff, and say, you know what, man, I don't know if his chin can hold up because we saw what Linares did when he landed one good punch against him. He got dominated 12 rounds. And, I don't want to see, so because of that, I don't want to see him fight these other dudes who are his mandatories. We got to put him in the ring. Like, it's not a fighter, and you see what I'm saying, Jeff? It's not our job to play protective custody to fighters. It's not our job to be like, you know what, dog, I really like this dude right here, man, so I just want to, I really don't want to see him fight such and such. That ain't good for the sport of boxing. My channel is all about the sport of boxing. I ain't with no clicks, no crews. My channel ain't about east side, west side, north side, what set, who you represent. My channel is about the sport of boxing. I don't have a personal relationship with no fighters in the sport of boxing. I don't have a personal relationship with no promotional teams, companies, or whatever the case may be. Now, me being the marketing individual that I am, if I probably wanted to do that, I probably can do that. And I won't reach out to nobody else to try to get in it. I can do it on my own. But I'm saying right now, today, that's not the direction. I can't cap for them. Because see, what happens, my brother, is this. We got a bunch of beta males in the sport of boxing. A bunch of beta males. These are some very, very sensitive rap transvent ass dudes. Right? So if you say anything, especially fighters are as well. So if you say anything, any kind of criticism, they'll get mad at you. And they'll get all upset and yada, 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 yada. So I'll piss everybody off. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Okay. Carlos says, I see everyone trying to fight Tank besides Haney. Why is that, coach? Maybe Tank would say yes to Haney, but that's the best that can happen at 135. Yeah, I don't know about that. He said, I see everyone trying to fight Tank, but Haney. I mean, bro. I mean, as a matter of fact, Tank. I mean, not Tank, but Devin Haney did call out Tank. He don't have a problem fighting Tank, but Tank is not in control of his career. He has to do what where every fighter has to do what their promoter tells them to do, or advisor, like the PBC. You know what I mean? Every fighter does. You know what I mean? Oscar doing the Mayweather song, especially keeping in house. That's what they're doing. Southpaw Killer says the fighter gets the last word of who they fight. T says Tank push for the Barrios fight. Fighters have control. Okay, good. Okay, good. So if Tank wants to fight Josh Taylor, he can push for that. He can push for that fight. If he don't push for it, then that means he didn't want to fight. According to this, what you're saying. Bulldog says Teofimo duck Devin Haney, Devin too. I don't, Texas Bulldog. I don't have any. To be honest with you, brother, I don't have any proof on that yet. You see what I'm saying? I don't have any proof on that yet, to be honest. And I'm just trying to be as fair as I possibly can. You know. He said networks will lose money if their top fighters start losing and boxing fans lose interest in that fighter. Yeah, listen, like Louis James, I get that, fam, but I'm still trying to understand. You know what? He said exactly, Coach. All of these. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead. He said exactly, Coach. All of this starts. He saying all these guys need to start fighting each other. Seems like they are terrified of taking an L nowadays. Yet it's boxing. That's what happens. Makes you wonder why they're in the sport. Yeah. Arlette, what you say, sis? She say Devin called out Tank and Roller. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Text the Bulldog. He said I'm done. He said I'm done with this subject. They all ducking Haney. I'm taking all bets. Still no takers either. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Texas Bulldog. I get what you're saying, bro. All I'm saying is this here: when you got fighters who are mandatories and they are petitioning to not be the mandatory anymore, that's a duck to me. I don't listen. I gotta call it the way it is. I gotta call it the way it is. Now I know we're not supposed to say fighters are ducking other fighters, but goddamn, dog, listen. Let me do this. Let me do this. Hold on. As a matter of fact, guys, let me get all the belts. All right, I got all the belts. I got the WBA belt. Let's pretend I am the WBA lightweight champion or WBC or middleweight or super middleweight, whatever division you want to. Let's pretend I am the welterweight champion of the world. No, let's pretend I am Josh Taylor. Let's pretend I'm Josh Taylor. I'm the only undisputed fighter in boxing right now. There's no confusion about it. No franchise belt, French fries belt. There's none of that. There's no confusion about this. I'm recognized by all of the sanctioning bodies as being the undisputed. Let's say I got the WBA belt. Let's say I got the WBO belt. Let's say I have the IBF belt. And let's say I have the WBC belt. And I have fighters that are my mandatories. And let's say, hey, I got a fighter that's my mandatory for this belt. You know what? I'm going to drop that belt and I'm going to petition to Mauricio Suleiman that, hey, man, I want to get elevated to a franchise. But I have a guy who was my mandatory to fight me for the WBC belt. What is that? No promoter forced me to do it. No promoter forced me to do it. No network forced me to do it. I made a decision to do that. Josh Taylor is the IBF champion as well. The IBF mandatory comes up. And you know the IBF don't play. And let's say Josh Taylor decides, you know what, man? I don't want to fight that dude. I'm going to drop that belt. Because he don't want to fight. Let's say I am the WBO champion. Josh Taylor is the WBO champion. Now, he fought like hell to get these belts. There's a mandatory that he's going to have to fight to defend this belt. He said, you know what? I don't want to fight that mandatory. Let me drop that belt. And this is the WBA. I already did that, the WBA. This is the WBA belt. I think the other one was the IBF. This is WBA belt. I said, you know what? I got a mandatory for this belt. I'm going to fight the guy for this belt. I dropped the other ones. That's a goddamn duck to me. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care which team you're on. I don't care which side of the fence you're on this. That if you actively drop your belt to prevent fighting another fighter, that's a goddamn duck. Period. I don't care how you slice it, how you dice it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Or let's say the dummies that are saying Devin has a weak chin. Are you saying that about Lolo? He got dropped by Linares. Devin was rocked. Linares is a devastating puncher, but he gets injured easy. That's all I'm saying. I gotta call it like it is, dog. I gotta call Irish boxer, bro. He say facts. All that Linares has serious problem. Yeah. Everybody get hurt in boxing. Texas Bulldogs say, and they request the franchise via email. Exactly. See, my thing is this here, guys. This guy is the root of this. The guy is the author of all the confusion. So I understand. They talk bad about Bill and say stuff about Bill, and Bill gets, Bill doesn't know how to articulate his position very well. And some people say Bill be lying and doing this and doing that. I get all of that. I'm not on nobody's side, because I don't have a personal relationship with this guy or this guy. But one thing I will say, this guy right here is full of it, because he is the author of the confusion. He's the author of confusion. Some people who don't like Devin Haney don't recognize him as being a real champion. But they'll recognize the guy who dropped the belt and petitioned to become a franchise champion. He got the belt via email. Okay, it ain't his goddamn fault, but the franchise belt came via email as well. So since we're talking about via email, I'm glad, listen, Texas Bulldog, I'm glad you brought that up. Since we're talking about via email, let me move over here. Since we're talking about via email, if you petition to get the franchise belt, you're going to receive that via email. So how can I say he's a champion? Or I get it, it's not a belt, it's a designation. So I'm going to designate you something. What kind of value does a designation have? Devin Haney, in my opinion, he had two mandatories. Now the Vasily Lomachenko thing, some people can debate that. But if Lomachenko dropped that belt because he did not want to fight Devin Haney and he petitioned to get a higher belt, guess what? He ducked too. Ducking is any fighter. I don't care who it is. I do not care who that fighter is. So let me break this down to you. Ducking, the definition of ducking is when, one, you are mandated to fight a fighter, or if you are the mandatory to fight the next fighter, whether he's a champion or not. And if you actively refuse to fight that fighter, Ryan Garcia, he actively refused to fight Devin Haney. Even though if he would have stepped in the ring and beat Devin Haney, he would have been the WBC champion. He ducked him. JoJo Diaz. I like JoJo Diaz. But, sir, if you are the mandatory and your promoter tells you, hey, man, listen, dog, we going in a different direction. I know you're the mandatory. I know you want to become a champion. But look at, dog, you ain't going to fight him. We had a guy in the chat said that fighters get the last say-so. So we're going to take that and run with it. The fighter get the last say-so. The fighter is the one that tells the promoters what they want to do. They get the last say-so. Okay.
Hey, okay.
So we're going to see if JoJo Diaz fights Devin Haney. If he doesn't fight Devin Haney, according to your narrative, that means that the fighter that got the last say-so, which is JoJo Diaz, he said that he doesn't want to fight him. It is what it is. It is what it is. So we're going to see if this JoJo Diaz fight happens. But according to Michael Benson said he never seen a situation in boxing before where a fighter has two consecutive mandatories. Let's look at this. He says he's never seen a situation in boxing. Michael Benson has been in boxing for a long time. He said he's never seen a situation in boxing where a fighter has 2 consecutive mandatories, win their final eliminators, only to then turn down the world title shot against him. Devin Haney could be about to make a bizarre bit of history. And let's see what people are saying here. JoJo makes more money fighting Ryan Garcia than he does versus Devin Haney. It isn't rocket science. So this person right here on Twitter, oh, I got to blow this up. This person right here on Twitter is in favor of the duck. HLD said Loma didn't even need the franchise belt to avoid any mandatories to fight Tio, as he was the IBF champion unification, and unification fights trump mandatories anyways. More belts, more sanctioned fees. Yeah, whatever. It's still some bullshit. You feel me, HLD? It's still some bullshit. I see what you're saying though. I see what you're saying. But it's still some bullshit. In my mind. So this person here says is it about money or belts? This person right here says probably because there's still that feeling that his world title is just an email title. Now this is another person, and that Teofimo is the only WBC belt worth fighting for. Now this doesn't make any goddamn sense. Look at this dude. He says he's trying to make excuses. He's saying that the reason why JoJo Diaz gonna pull out of the fight probably because no one really believes that Devin Haney is the real champion because he got the email title, while ignoring the fact that the franchise belt is an email title as well, and it's a designation. Do you have to fight for the franchise belt? Did Lomachenko have to fight somebody for the franchise belt? No, he reached out to Mauricio Suleiman, him in Top Rank. Hey man, can you give me a franchise belt? He said, yeah, baby boy, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna elevate you, give you a franchise belt. How am I gonna get it? You're gonna get it via email. So how are you gonna say that Devin Haney belt is not recognized because he got it via email, but Teofimo received a belt from Lomachenko that was non-transferable, who he beat, and Lomachenko received that belt via email? Make that make sense to me, guys. Please make that make sense to me. I'm confused. Now, I ain't the smartest guy in the world, but my GED education tells me some BS when I tell me that this is some BS. You see, when you are pro a fighter, you make excuses for that fighter. But you won't call it down the middle because your bias will always jump in, right? Halim, what you say, fam? He say Amazon dropped Lopez's belt off. Nah, Lopez fought for his belt. Lopez fought for the belt. It's not Teofimo Lopez's fault that he received the franchise belt because Lomachenko, if Lomachenko never would have dropped that belt, he would have got his ass whooped. Teofimo Lopez would be the undisputed champion right now. Period. Philip Fly say, this topic is annoying me. Yeah, I know it is, dog. I know it is. Shit annoying me too. He say, text the Bulldog, say, look up box red, coach, and read off the belt, T.O. Hold. Yeah, I saw that. So, Lewis James said, the franchise belt is basically like a souvenir and not even considered a real belt. It's not a real belt. Lopez is my favorite, but he just has all the Lomas belts that he was holding, in which the real WBC Haney has now. Yeah, this is the thing too, Louis. But again, Mauricio Suleiman created this confusion. How can a non-transferable belt be transferable? You see what I'm saying? Like, how can a non-transferable designation belt make you a champion and be transferable? It ain't making no sense to me. But guess what? I'm gonna do that for you, fam. I'm gonna do that for you. And we're gonna look up box rec. Let me do this. Let's look up box rec. Because I looked it up before already. I looked it up before already. Brother. Let me see. Let's look at the champions. Let's look at the champions. I got y'all. Let's look at the champions. Box reg, number 1, number 2, Canelo, Super middleweight, he number 1 because I think Canelo has 3 belts. Middleweight, they got Triple G number 1. Light middle, they got Jamel Charlo. I think that's a picture of Jamal though. Welterweight, they got Errol because he has 2 belts. Josh Taylor. They got Teofimo Lopez as number 1. Let's see. Which belts does Teofimo has? 1, 2, 3. Now I want to show you guys something. Teofimo, word on the street that Teofimo Lopez is supposed to be undisputed champion, right? Well, how come BoxRec, in order to be undisputed champion in today's time, you have to have 4 belts. You have to have the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO, right? When you look over here, Teofimo Lopez is recognized as the IBF Federation World Holder. Teofimo Lopez is recognized as being the WBA Super World Lightweight Champion. Teofimo Lopez is recognized as being the WBO Lightweight Champion. Is Teofimo Lopez recognized by BoxRec as being the WBC Lightweight Champion? Let's look and see. The WBC Lightweight Champion is recognized as Devin Haney, according to BoxRec. So I got a question for you guys. Why BoxRec does not show Teofimo Lopez having 4 titles, which will make him undisputed? Why are they saying that Devin Haney is the champion, WBC champion? So that means that everybody's not recognizing this guy as being undisputed. BoxRec is not. And a lot of people, they hold a lot of stock in BoxRec. Is BoxRec hating on Teofimo Lopez? Is there some kind of conspiracy that BoxRec is coming with to try to hate on undisputed fighters? But let's look at Josh Taylor, though. Josh Taylor, we know that he is the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. How do we know? Josh Taylor is the IBF champion. Josh Taylor is the WBA champion. Josh Taylor is the WBC champion. That's 3 belts. And Josh Taylor is the WBO champion. Now, say what you want to say about BoxRec. I don't have any, everybody, whatever. I don't know who's supposed to be the top dog or whatever. I don't care. All I'm saying is, let's look at facts. The facts is this guy has 4 belts. He has the WBA, WBO, IBF, and WBC. This guy has 3 belts, and he has a franchise belt. And they got Devin Haney as the WBC champion, lightweight champion. Let's see. So BoxRec is not showing, putting any value in this franchise belt. Is what I'm saying. BoxRec is not putting any value in this franchise belt. Is that a knock on Teofimo Lo? It ain't Teofimo Lopez's fault. He's a fighter. He did what he had to do. He got in the ring and beat the man. Beat the man who they said was the man who was pound for pound the best. He beat Lomachenko ass, and he won his belts. And he also won a non-transferable belt. He won a non-transferable belt. That is not Teofimo Lopez's fault. Salute to Teofimo Lopez. That ain't his fault. But we can't, but they recognize that Devin Haney has been the WBC champ. So he says, go by what president of WBC recognizes as undisputed champ. Okay, where is he at? Because he's all over the place with this elder. Elder, he's all over. See, this is what I'm saying, my brother. Mauricio Suleiman is the author of the confusion. Let's do this again, guys. Let's do this one more time. Let's do this one more time. Bro, because I think some people not understanding where I'm coming from. He said, go by what the president of WBC recognizes as undisputed champ. Elder, I don't know what he recognizes. All I'm saying is he created a Buddha Dean fictitious belt for 2 fighters. He created a fake belt for he created this franchise belt for Canelo, and then he gave Lomachenko a franchise belt. According to here, we want to know what, let me see, what a franchise belt is, right? Let's see. I want to make sure we find it. WBC Franchise Champion. The move, yada, 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 mandatories. Let's see. The move came. Let me find it, guys. Okay, here we go. Here we go. They say the process is very similar to how Jamal Charlo earned the distinction to become the WBC middleweight titleist, meaning champion. The Houston, Texas native previously served as the interim titleist to the full belt held by world middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez, who was named the sanctioning body's first ever. This belt never existed. They created this belt for Canelo. First ever franchise champion. What is the franchise belt for, guys? Since we're going to go by what Suleiman says. Suleiman says franchise belt is supreme belt. So it doesn't matter who doesn't recognize it. It didn't, if they didn't issue it. This is the thing. Suleiman said that, so, but what Suleiman says, he's all over the place. He's all over the place. He is the author of the confusion. I get it. Suleiman runs the WBC. He run it how he wants to run it. Just because he say some shit don't mean I have to agree with it. That's all I'm saying. I've been watching boxing a long time. Muhammad Ali had no damn franchise belt. Mike Tyson ain't had no franchise belt. Sugar Ray Robinson ain't had no franchise belt. Pernell Whitaker didn't have no franchise belt. The franchise belt is a duck belt. And this ain't banging on anybody who got the franchise belt. It might hurt some people's feelings, but guess what? It is what it is. But according to this guy, Mauricio Suleiman, that same guy you're talking about, its intent is to allow superstar fighters such as Canelo Alvarez the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights without fear of being stripped of a title from failure to satisfy mandatory title defense obligations. So let me break this down. When you are a titleist, when you hold a belt, before the franchise belt was ever invented, when you held this belt, Mauricio Suleiman, this belt had mandatories that you had to fight in order to defend this belt. The French fries belt was created so that superstar fighters do not have to fight their mandatories anymore. So if you are blessed and favored by Mauricio Suleiman enough to receive this belt, this will remove you from the obligations of having to fight your mandatories. I hope you can understand that. Shout out to Wallace.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that $2 super chat on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Wallace Harris says the franchise belt is for non-black fighters. Some channels are saying that. To be honest with you, I really don't have an answer to that, bro. To be honest with you, I don't know any. I think they only have 2 franchise belts. Maybe, I can't really say that because maybe a black fighter will get the franchise belt if he petitions for it. Maybe if Devin Haney petitions for a black, let's see. I don't know. Maybe if another fighter who's black can petition for the franchise belt, we'll see what happens. But before I even go off and say that, I need to see if another black fighter can petition for it in order for me to go with that narrative. Now, if a black fighter petitions for the franchise belt and Mauricio Suleiman says, I ain't going to give you the belt, then maybe you have some validity. But I'll be honest with you, brother, I have no proof of that. Louis J said the franchise belt title is like a restraining order so that the WBC can keep making big money off of these fighters on top of fights they will be involved in. Yeah, definitely, any belt, any sanctioning body, Louis James, any sanctioning body, they're going to, and the more belts, the more money. You see the foolishness going on. You see foolishness going on with the WBA. Even the WBA get it. Even the WBA gets it now. Even the WBA gets it that, man, we got to get rid of all these damn belts. Diallo Huggy said they're trying to offer Wilder the franchise belt. I didn't even know that, Diallo Huggy. I didn't know they tried to offer Wilder the franchise belt. I didn't know that. The franchise belt also allows you to force a fighter not to overprice themselves. So if T.O. wants to, he can force Devin Haney to fight after the Camboses. Okay. Okay. If T.O. wants to, he can force that fight. Let me send a shout out, salute everybody in the chat. He can force that fight. So matter of fact, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll then. Let's do a poll then, guys. We ain't talking about no stripper poll. Let's do a poll. Do you believe the franchise belt? I'm gonna ask y'all. Is a duck belt? Yes or no? I just dropped the poll. Do you believe the franchise belt is a duck belt? Oh, I didn't put a question mark on it, but don't worry about that. I just dropped the poll. Tell me what y'all think. Because I'm gonna tell you what I think. Now, again, my GED education tells me that according to this, the franchise belt intent is to allow superstar fighters such as Canelo Alvarez or any other fighter who is in possession of this belt the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights without fear of being stripped of a title from failure, lack of desire, or I refuse to satisfy the mandatory title defense obligations. So there's no obligation to fight your mandatory when you have the franchise belt. But when you have the real belt that was there before the franchise belt, you have obligations to fulfill to fight mandatories. Shout out to Tony Boswell.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that half of dizzub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Tony Boswell said, much respect to our new media today, USA Boxing in the chat. Stop in to show support and hit the like button. Yes, sir. Hit the like button, man, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's all I'm saying. Now, I ain't talking about I ain't banging on no other fighter. I'm just saying, according to this is what it's for. So when I hear Mauricio Suleiman talking and somebody say, no, this what it is, baby boy, see, what it is, see, no, this what it really is. No. I'm gonna go back to this. We're gonna go back, and this article was written, and I think in 2019. In 2019. So we're gonna go back to what you said in 2019, that the intent of the belt. Now what you're telling me is the intent of the franchise belt has changed now, because now people are saying that the franchise belt is the superior belt over the Super WBC Championship. So now what you're telling me is this, my GED education, the intent was for fighters to be able to avoid fighting mandatories without the fear of being stripped. So now what the intent was in 2019 and what the intent is in 2020 has changed. And this guy changed it. Devin Haney didn't change it. Teofimo Lopez didn't change it. Vasily Lomachenko didn't change it. Canelo Alvarez didn't change it. Josh Taylor didn't change it. Errol Spence didn't change it. Terrence Crawford didn't change it. This guy changed it. When you made this belt, Mauricio Suleiman, you said that the intent was to allow superstar fighters such as anyone who has the belt, Canelo Alvarez, Lomachenko, now Teofimo Lopez, whoever you consider a superstar fighter, the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights without fear of being stripped from failure to satisfy mandatory title defense obligations. So this what was the intent 2 years ago. Now, for you guys that are telling me that, well, the Mauricio Suleiman has changed his mind again, and he said that the franchise is the superior belt. So now we have went away from the intent that you made this belt for 2 years ago to now saying that the franchise belt is the superior belt. So if that's the goddamn case, what value is the WBC regular belt? I'm just saying. You know, I ain't the smartest guy in the world, but I'm trying to figure that out. So this guy, Mauricio Suleiman, changed the original intent. This is why I am saying what? Don't get mad at Devin Haney. Don't get mad at Teofimo. Don't get mad at Canelo, Lomachenko, or anybody. It all starts with Mauricio Suleiman. I've been consistent in saying what, guys? Mauricio Suleiman is the author of confusion when it comes to this WBC shit. That's all I'm saying. Let me go ahead and drop the link. Troy, I forgot all about him. Let me go ahead and drop the link. He is the author of confusion. I'm going to drop the link. Mauricio Suleiman is the author of confusion. 2 years ago, the belt intent was to allow superstar fighters the position or the ability to duck, avoid, fulfill obligations. However you want to dress it up. If you don't have to fulfill your obligation, you are ducking that responsibility. If I have an obligation to do a certain task at work, and my boss said, you know what, this is your obligation. I'm going to create something to where you don't have to fulfill that obligation. I'm going to create something to where, create another position to where you can decide whether you want to fulfill that obligation or not. You are giving me a way to avoid my obligation. Shout out to the Queen Commissarine.
Hey, okay.
That's all I'm saying. So don't get mad at Devin Haney as it relates to that. Because the franchise belt is an email belt as well. So anybody who has a franchise belt, you have an email belt. If that's what you're saying. Jamal Charlo got an email belt. But guess what? If the fighter never dropped the belt, we wouldn't be talking about this. The fighter never dropped the belt. Anybody that received the franchise belt received the email belt. Period. Especially if you requested it. Now, in Teofimo Lopez's position, Teofimo fought for the belt. He beat Lomachenko. The rules changed again. I want you guys to follow me. First, the franchise was a designation, non-transferable belt. When Teofimo Lopez won, the belt was not a designation anymore, and it was transferable. And then now it goes from being a designation to now it's a superior belt. So 3 different things don't change with that belt, and it all started for one guy, Mauricio Suleiman. Andy C said all you need is an email address to get one. I petitioned to get me a franchise belt from Mauricio Suleiman. I got this in the email. Well, I got this in my mailbox. I petitioned for this. So shit, hey, guess what? Since they giving out French fries belts, like I got one too. That's all I'm saying. And so now you have JoJo Diaz and Ryan Garcia, the mandatory to fight for this belt that Devin Haney has. To fight for this belt that Devin Haney has. Now all of a sudden, they pull out. They don't want to fight him. They don't want to fight him. But Devin Haney will be looked at as the one who's ducking. And as a matter of fact, this guy right here, let's go over here to Twitter. Let's go over here to Twitter. Now I want to look at what these guys are saying. So this guy's saying probably because they're still, listen, the only guy that's coming on this panel is Troy. Troy wanted to reach out or Shelton. That's the only one coming on this panel. This person here says that probably because there is still that feeling that Devin Haney has an email belt and that Teofimo is the only WBC belt worth fighting for. Guess why? Because this guy, Mauricio Suleiman, changed the rules. He said, come on, JoJo said that he's fighting Haney next. He did say that. Before and after his mandatory fight, He called out Haney after the fight and also went on Twitter days later to tell Devin Haney to get prepared as his team are preparing the paperwork for him to announce he's fighting Ryan next. This is facts. JoJo Diaz went on the tirade. He did say that he was going to fight Devin Haney next. Now, in defense of JoJo Diaz, Oscar De La Hoya Potter told him, look here, baby boy, we gonna make an in-house fight. Remember I told you, a lot of these promotional companies, they like to make in-house fights. But Devin Haney will be the one that's accused of ducking JoJo Diaz. He said it comes with a Happy Meal toy. Yes, it does. All right, what you say, Queen? You say the Pope got a WBC belt. Wilder and his baby mama. Oh, he say T.O. requested the franchise belt as well. You sure about that? You sure about that? I haven't heard anything about T.O. I haven't heard anything about T.O. I see someone pulling up. It says this is Bill Haney. I don't know if this is Bill Haney or not, though. I don't know if this is a troll. I don't know if this is a troll or not. Let's see. I can cut it off real quick if it is a troll. Let's see. Is this the real Bill Haney or is this a troll?
Happy Sunday to you, good brother, and everybody inside the chat, man. Everybody inside the chat, you're doing a wonderful job explaining a mess that has been created, brother. You know, that's the only thing that I can say. You're doing your best to explain a mess that has been created. And, you know, one thing that I would just like to if you don't mind, is sharing with the people.
Well, I want to, but before you say something, I want to say this.
Yes, sir.
Bill, do I have a personal relationship with you, sir?
This is my first time. No, I don't even have no personal relationship. You know, I go everywhere and pull up. You know what I'm saying? If you're saying something good or if you're saying something bad, we don't have, of course, we don't have no relationship.
Right. I just want to let, reason why I'm saying that, because I just want to let it be known, I don't have a personal relationship with Mr. Bill Haney. I'm not capping for Mr. Bill Haney or Devin Haney. I'm telling you guys, I've been watching, I've been seeing some things, I've done my own little research, and I've come to the conclusion that, Bill don't have to say anything because I understand his position. Mauricio Suleiman is the author of this confusion. And I did not ask Bill Haney to come on. He popped up. So let me shut my big ass mouth and I'm gonna let him talk. Go ahead, sir.
Hey man, thank you though. Thank you. It's an article. It's an article that came out, and you know, if it came out of my mouth, it would be different. But it's an article, and if I don't, I would like for you to share it if you can. It's hold on one second. Let me see. It's called the if you can look it up, it's WBN who did the article, and it's Teofimo Lomachenko. Let me see.
Can you let me see something. Bill. Bear with me, guys. WBN. Yeah, you gotta send it to me, Bill. Drop it in the background if you can. Yeah, so as I said before, guys, like this, we have Ryan Garcia pulled out of fighting Devin Haney. We have JoJo Diaz. Now, in defense of JoJo, I think maybe this is more of an Oscar De La Hoya move. Oscar De La Hoya is the one that's kind of bear with me, guys, one moment. Oscar De La Hoya is the one that's kind of pulling the strings on that situation, because JoJo Diaz did say that they was getting ready to fight Haney next and stuff like that. So maybe that's more of an Oscar De La Hoya move. My thing is this here, guys. I'm not upset with JoJo Diaz. I'm not upset with Canelo, Lomachenko, T.O. I'm not upset with any fighter. All of this stuff, to me, in my opinion, from my position where I'm looking at, it's Mauricio Suleiman is the author of all of this confusion. And I will continue to say this. Right? All right, go ahead, Bill.
Hello?
Bill, can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Bill, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, the article says franchise on the line, WBC explains 135. That's what it is. But I don't how do I send it to you?
You probably have to go in the background. What's the website?
It's the
WBN.
World Boxing News.
Oh, World Boxing News. Okay.
World Boxing News franchise on the line.
All right, Bill, this is what I want to ask you.
Yes, sir.
All right, when the franchise belt came out, I remember like it was yesterday. The franchise belt was a non-transferable belt. Am I correct or am I wrong?
Correct.
All right, so if it's what does non-transferable mean, sir?
It meant that you could not win it in the ring, right? You had to email the WBC and you had to request it because it was non-transferable. You couldn't win it in the ring. They had to vote on it, so on and so forth.
Okay, so according to the article that I'm reading 2 years ago on Boxing Scene, it did say that this belt was intended for superstar fighters such as Canelo. They created it for Canelo, if I'm not mistaken, for them to have the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights without fear of being stripped of a title to satisfy their mandatories, right? So anybody who's been blessed to have the franchise belt, that gives you a special designation to be able to move how you want to move. So it was a non-transferable belt. The problem I have is this. With Teofimo Lopez, which I'm not mad at Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko, this is not about the fighters. How Teofimo was able to win that belt, win a non-transferable belt. That's one. And then two, we see that the intent, what Mauricio Suleiman saying here, what the intent was at the time. Now, the intent has changed. Now they're saying that the franchise belt is the superior belt. So he changed the intent. And if that's the case, cool, that's fine. So what is the status or level of your son's belt then?
Right. Correct.
You see what I'm saying? Like, well, okay, okay. So what is this guy Teofimo, Mauricio Suleiman is changing the narrative how he sees fits.
Okay, so can you see right here?
Yeah, I can see that.
You can see it?
Yeah. It says the Board of Governors voted in favor of accepting Top Rank's request that if Teofimo Lopez wins the match, he will be recognized as the franchise champion. Okay, so let me just stop right there. So basically what I'm reading is Teofimo requested to have the franchise belt transferred to him if he wins, if he beats Lomachenko. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct, sir.
All right, so the WBC champion Devin Haney will have a voluntary defense. Voluntary defense of what?
Right.
What voluntary defense of what? I'm asking, like, because he was the interim champion at the time, right?
Right.
Devin Haney?
No, he was the world champion.
He was a world. Yeah, he was a world champion. You're right. Okay, he's a world champion. Okay. You say Ryan Garcia will face Luke Campbell for the interim title. Yeah, I know about this. Javier Fortuna will be yeah, sorry about that. So okay. Yeah, so we know what happened. We know Ryan Garcia beat Luke Campbell, right?
Correct.
Ryan Garcia then became the mandatory to fight Devin Haney. Am I all right? Bill went off the air. And I'm not trying to guide the questions. I have it here though. I have it here where Ryan Garcia did petition to get out of the get removed from Devin Haney's mandatory for now. Because he was saying because of the pandemic and stuff like that. HLD said T.O. had to beat Loma to earn the right to petition for the franchise belt, and the WBC board voted. Agreed he earned the status of franchise as T.O. became the IBF champ. Cambosos is no champion. Yeah, I get all of that. My point is this here. You guys, my point is this is not about Teofimo Lopez. This is not about Devin Haney. This is not about, well, it's about Devin Haney as it relates to JoJo Diaz and Ryan Garcia not wanting to fight Devin Haney all of a sudden. They pulled out, right? So it's about that. It's related to that. But as it relates to the franchise, this is not about the fighters. And I want you to understand this. This is not about the fighters. This is about Mauricio Suleiman. He is the author of the confusion. No one is holding him to the fire. Bon Scott says on the WBA 17 weight divisions has roughly 96 world title belts. This is ridiculous. Done Deal says Devin hurt the game. I don't know how he hurt the game, brother. Like, explain that to me. Shout out to W. Harris, man.
The stickiest of the icky. You want to smoke with the old boy Rick James?
Smoke with the old boy Rick James, man. Hey, okay. Shout out to W. Harris for dropping that $2 super chat on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
W. Harris says, why Devin being blocked? He's Mayweather 2.0. Promoters hate that they can't make money off of his back. Devin might have to team up with somebody. Alex Skills says, blessing to you, Coach. Big Papa Haney and the rest of the chat. Yeah, again, guys, he just said, he told you, I didn't ask him. I don't have any relationship with the brother at all. So I don't want to hear nothing about he capping for such and such. I'm not. I ain't capping for nobody. We talking about Mauricio Suleiman. That's what I'm really talking about. Now, as it relates to Ryan Garcia, he ducked Devin Haney. That's facts. And I don't want no Ryan Garcia fans putting up on me on Instagram. Coach Malachi Williams, at Coach Malachi Williams, you find me on Instagram. I don't want nobody putting up on me talking about, oh man, because Ryan Garcia got a bunch of female fans. So I don't want you females putting up on me and stuff like that. It is what it is. He did that. That's facts. That's documented. That's receipts. Got the receipts on that. And then if JoJo Diaz, he was calling out Devin Haney, and I think Oscar De La Hoya is pulling a gank move on not allowing him to fight Devin Haney. I think JoJo is now. I'm gonna give JoJo. I think this is more De La Hoya, but no, I can't say that because as the brother said in the chat, the fighter gets the last say so. The fighter gets the last say so. So we're gonna believe the narrative that the fighter gets the last say so. If JoJo does not end up fighting or do not end up fighting Devin Haney next, guess what? It's his say so. He said, could you lose it in the ring? Bruce goes, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can lose it in the ring because Lomachenko lost his franchise belt. He lost it in the ring, Bruce. He lost it in the ring. Shout out to W. Harris.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that quarter of a disub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
And I read this already. He said, why Devin being blocked? He's Mayweather 2.0. Yeah, absolutely. Here it goes. He said, Joe Strummer said, Coach, how is Ryan making millions not fighting? He's an Instagram model. He's an Instagram model. So he's probably making millions modeling on Instagram. You see what I'm saying? I think he's making Ryan Garcia is making money modeling on Instagram. I don't look at Ryan Garcia as a fighter. I look at Ryan Garcia as Jake Paul. I look at Ryan Garcia as Logan Paul. He's a social media sensation. Ryan Garcia is a Instagram model. He ain't fighting. I care about watching fighters fight in the ring. I ain't got no loyalty to nobody. Right? I have no loyalty to nobody because I don't want to be controlled by anybody. I don't want anyone thinking that you can control me. Well, you with my crew, you with my clique, so you got to follow certain narratives. This is not the Alphabet Boys. I don't follow the same script. And I don't follow the scripts of other people. I follow my own goddamn script. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I want to be able to have my integrity. I want to be able to have my integrity. We don't do no dick riding over here, homie. We don't do no D riding for nobody. I don't care who it is. Whether it's Mr. Bill Haney, whether it's Teofimo, whether it's Canelo, whether it's Crawford, whether it's Lomachenko, whether it's Anthony Joshua, whether it's Deontay Wilder, whether it's Tyson Fury. Man, I ain't D riding for nobody. But I have to call it the way I see it. And for what I'm seeing, when you got two fighters who actively, as Michael Benson said it, like he said it perfectly. But as a matter of fact, let's go look at this. Let's go. He said, Coach, how Ryan is making me. Yeah, I have no idea. Ryan Garcia is the Instagram model. Shelton says, HLD, JoJo, Ryan, and Loma ducked Haney, period. Ain't no way around it. I can't do it. Now let's look at the comments. This brother right here said, "Come on, JoJo said that he's fighting Devin Haney next." Facts. As a matter of fact, I have the receipts on that too. I had the receipts on that. I'm gonna retweet that, but I had the receipts on that because he did say it. I have the physical receipts on it. JoJo said he's fighting Devin Haney next, before and after his mandatory fight. He called out Haney after the fight and also went on Twitter days later to tell Haney to get prepared as his team are preparing the paperwork. So JoJo said that his team, meaning Oscar De La Hoya, is preparing the paperwork. And then for him to announce that he's fighting Ryan Garcia next. Now, this is an in-house fight. JoJo Diaz and Ryan Garcia. This sounds like to me, Oscar De La Hoya stepped to him and say, look here, baby boy, check this out. You don't get on social media talking about you making fights. You do what I tell you to do. Baby boy, you're going to fight Ryan Garcia next. This sounds like a Oscar De La Hoya gank move to me. He said, how can 2 consecutive mandatories turn down a fight with him if he isn't even the champ? So this guy says that Devin Haney is not even the champ. He said, pretty sure Loma won the vacant belt, then got beaten by Teofimo Lopez. In my book, that makes Teofimo the champ. WBC is just as bad as WBA for paper champions. So this guy is saying that Devin Haney is not the champ. He is not recognizing him. But then he turns around and he says that he recognizes that the WBC is the problem. That's what this guy says. Now, I disagree with him about Devin Haney not being the champ. If Lomachenko gets rid of drops the belt. Listen, it's simple, guys. It's simple. I ain't the smartest guy in the world. But let's say I own this belt. I own this belt, right? Which I do. I own this belt. And I drop this belt. And somebody picks the belt up. Or the person who made the belt say, here you go, baby boy. I'm going to give you this belt. It's yours now. He's not the champion. He didn't fight for it. And I get what you're saying. Teofimo, yada, yada, should be the champion, yada, yada. I'm not even arguing none of that. All I'm saying is this here. Mauricio Sulaiman created the confusion. I'm staying on code with that. That's the code. Mauricio Sulaiman is the problem. He's no different from the WBA. You see what I'm saying? He's no different from the WBA. I'm not here to cap for Mauricio Sulaiman. Can't do it. Don't know the man. WBC said Haney is the champ. How he got the belt is the only thing that baffles people like you. Loma left the belt and Haney got it. That, he say, that one with Tio isn't the real belt. Stop making excuses. This is what this guy says. Now, this guy is kind of saying what I'm saying. He said the WBC acknowledged Haney as the champ. But the WBC been saying, they've been all over the place. That's what I'm saying, guys. Right? Everybody's confused. This guy says that Devin Haney is not the champ. This guy says Devin Haney is the champ. But this guy acknowledges that WBC is just as bad as WBA. The WBC is the author of the confusion. This guy here says lightweight. WBO, Teofimo Lopez. IBF, Teofimo Lopez. WBA, Teofimo Lopez. And he says asterisk right here by the WBA. And then he has double asterisk by WBC, Devin Haney. See, everybody's confused. See, there's no confusion. Do you notice? Check this out. Do you notice we ain't having this conversation about Josh Taylor? Thomas say, Coach, who's pick on your belt? Oh, let me tell you. Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, the legend. Let's hit the Ali bell for Ali. Hit the Ali bell for Ali. Manny Pacquiao, Roy Jones, and then they got Mauricio Sulaiman's father. That's who on that particular belt. Wizard Sleeve say, no wonder boxing is dying. It's all crap. Why? Listen, there's no dispute about Josh Taylor. Do you notice that? He said that's why boxers don't fight each other, because they're making good money in social media. Yeah. Ryan Garcia is the Instagram model, so we ain't worried about Ryan Garcia. He said, why aren't they having this conversation about Taylor? Because Ramirez fans aren't like Wilder, Tank, and Haney fans. Listen, ain't nobody having this conversation about Josh Taylor. There's no dispute about Josh Taylor. There's no, oh, wait a minute, dog. See, with Josh Taylor, you really ain't the champ because you ain't win the belt in the ring. As a matter of fact, there's a French fries belt. Whoever got the French fries, there's no confusion. What about Josh Taylor? It ain't no showing up in all the videos. Okay. It ain't no, dancing in the videos. Okay. You know what I mean? None of that. Round of applause, everybody in the chat. There ain't no, we gonna create this belt so you ain't got to fulfill your obligations. What? You know, there's no, what it is, what we gonna do, baby boy. See, you ain't got to worry about fighting this dude. Now any other fighter that's not a superstar like you, any other fighter, they will have to fight their mandatory. But because you a superstar, I'm gonna designate you a special designation, so you ain't got to worry about fighting these other baby boys. You can fight whoever you choose to fight. What? That's what's going on. Okay. That's what's going on. And guess who's the author of the confusion? Until y'all recognize it's Mauricio Suleiman, you can't get mad at these fighters, dog. You can't get mad at these fighters. Rachel says the WBC shouldn't be allowed to get paid twice for the same position. Either T.O. or Devin is the representative of the 135-pound division. They need to pick. As a matter of fact, I don't know. This shit is so subjective. Again, Rachel, you hit the nail right on the head, sis.
Hey, okay.
You hit the nail right on the head.
Say it again. Say something else.
I say you hit the nail right on the head.
To this day.
You really did. You hit the Bon Scott say Super Series now. Exactly. We can get a Super Series like we did with Andre Ward. He was in the Super 6 tournament. HLD said, Coach, look at BoxRec and see the value of the WBC paper champ. Who they have ranked above Devin Haney. JoJo Diaz ranked number 3, Devin Haney number 4, because JoJo earned his belt in the ring. Yeah, man, well, listen, dude, HLD, I get your narrative. I'm very familiar with your narrative, sir. I'm very familiar with it. I get it. Trust me. I understand your narrative very well, and I know what side of the fence you're on very well. Guess what? I'm not with the narrative. Much respect to you, but I'm not with the narrative. But I get your angle. Trust me, I do. I get your angle. I know your angle very well, sir. Helene said Coach is the only one who recognized Josh Taylor on YouTube is undisputed. It might be some other people. Jake Paul, undefeated knockout artist. Jake Paul is putting all on the line for his 50 million loyal subscribers. Yeah, hey, shout out to Jake Paul, man. He's a hustler. I can't, you know, man, the man getting money, man. I can't, you know, I don't recognize him as no pressing a boxer, but you know, he getting his money, man. I can't hate on him. Coach, as long as they call out Ryan, he stay making money. Yeah. Ryan Garcia is an Instagram model, so he make a lot of money online. Wilder didn't need the franchise belt to avoid mandatories, protected by the PBC and the WBC. Peter Varnar say ESPN considers Teofimo undisputed. Yeah. Well, you got to understand, they consider Teofimo undisputed because ESPN is in business with Top Rank. You know, that's not hard. That's, you know, they're in business with Top Rank. But listen, ESPN is as biased as hell when it comes to Top Rank. So, you know, there's no French fries belt as his weight class. He won all the belts at 140. There's no disputes. Yeah, there's no disputes with Josh Taylor. There's none of that. And that's all I'm saying. He said, no doubt, Suleiman is the problem. He came up with the BS franchise system that doesn't have any clear rules. Doesn't have any clear rules. And what happens is Candy Slim, you got all these different people, they're taking certain parts that they want to use to fit their narrative. Well, Mauricio Suleiman said this. This is what it really is. While ignoring the fact that he said that 2 years ago, or he said that a year ago. You see what I'm saying? So depending on which side of the fence you're on, if you're a pro Teofimo Lopez, or you're pro Ryan Garcia, or you're pro JoJo Diaz, you're going to take certain things to fit your narrative because that's what you're pushing. I understand that very well, and I know who you are. But but while ignoring the other things that he said, well, this belt is just a special designation. It's a non-transferable belt. You see what I'm saying? This guy's changing that. Well, he's changing with the wind. He is the art of the confusion. He said Devin not getting credit for defending his belt. Kind of BS is that? Well, he said, well, I guess he said, what kind of BS is that? Lady saying done this season. She said clocked. Gary said, now you're talking, Coach. We need a Super Series. Yeah, we need a Super Series. Abe says ESPN don't know boxing. ESPN is compromised. Listen, ESPN has a business relationship with Top Rank. It'll be of a conflict of interest to say anything against someone who you have a business relationship with. That's all I'm saying. So when ESPN say something, that shit don't mean nothing. You got to take it with a grain of salt, especially when it comes to a top-ranked fighter. Teofimo Lopez is a top-ranked fighter. Vasily Lomachenko is a top-ranked fighter. Guess who's not a top-ranked fighter? Devin Haney. I got to call it like it is. Again, I ain't got a dog in the fight, baby. Remember, Coach Malachi Williams, I'm not down with nobody.
Say it again. Say something else.
I'm not on nobody's side. I don't have nobody's phone. I don't know nobody's phone numbers. I'm not affiliated with nobody. None of that. I'm not doing this for to be down. My name ain't Brandy.
To this day.
My name is Coach Malachi Williams.
To this day.
My name ain't Brandy. So I ain't trying to be down. I'm good, homie, over here, but I got to call it the way I see it. Mauricio Suleiman is the foolishness. He said, I respect Ring Magazine belt more than others because that's something that you have to earn. Shout out to Diallo Huggy.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I ain't pushing no narratives, bro. Not me. And if you fall out with me because I don't want to push the narrative, good. I'm not doing it. Shout out to my main man Blood.
Hey, okay.
Retro for dropping out quarter of a disub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Shout out to the Queen Lisa Bells. Shout out to my brother Blood, man. He says, what's good there, big country. Yeah, man, us country boys down here in Florida, man. The gunshine state is what we call it. You know what I mean? The gunshine state. He said, nah, Teofimo is undisputed because WBC gave him a belt above Devin Haney's. Man, listen, man, this shit all over the place, bro. This shit all over the place. It's all over the place. Like literally, bro. Like again, it goes right back to Jay Graves. It goes right back to WBC. You see what you said right here? You say no, Teofimo is undisputed because of what? The WBC gave him a belt above Devin's. You see what you said? So here, the belt, its intent was to allow superstar fighters such as Canelo Alvarez the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights without fear of being stripped of a title from failure to satisfy mandatory title defenses. So let me ask, so whoever owns the franchise belt does not have to worry about defending a mandatory position. So if you have the WBC belt that Devin Haney has, he has the fear of defending the mandatory position. So now, if I go by what you're saying, Teofimo is undisputed because he gave him a belt above Devin Haney. So the belt that he has that's above Devin, the question I want to ask you is, do you have to defend your title? Do you have to defend the WBC belt that's above the one that Devin Haney has? And if so, why not, sir? That's the $1 million question. If so, why not, sir? If the WBC franchise belt is now the superior belt, do you have to defend the belt? And why is the inferior belt that Devin Haney has, why does he have to defend his belt if the belt that Teofimo has is now have taken the place of Devin Haney's belt, if you understand what I'm saying? This shit is all over the place. It still goes back to who? Mauricio Suleiman. There ain't nobody seem like they recognizing what I'm saying. Mauricio Suleiman. He said Pac did low pay-per-view numbers. PBC needs Canelo to do big numbers, coach. Yeah, I'm hearing about these Pac-Man pay-per-view numbers. It ain't looking good. The pay-per-view numbers looking bad. Shaking like booty meat over there. They shaking like booty meat with them pay-per-view numbers over there. Yeah. We gonna get on that though. I'm gonna get on that. They haven't put nothing out though. He said, how do you give a franchise belt can't be lost or won? Yeah, he changed the narrative though. He changed it. Do you see what I'm saying? Hunter Young, he is the author of the confusion. Nobody is calling out Mauricio Suleiman. They talking about Devin Haney, Teofimo, Lomachenko, whatever. They talking about everybody but the person they need to be talking about. He said Lomo didn't drop a belt. The WBC made Loma the franchise belt, as did Canelo. Loma wants to be undisputed. Loma chose the Lopez fight because he wanted to be undisputed. Oh, my God. Oh. Jay Graves, my brother. My brother. Let's look at what this dude is saying. Loma did not drop a belt. Okay. Lomachenko did not drop a belt. Okay, let's read, guys. Let's read. Now, I got a GED, so you got to bear with me. He said it's not the way that he wanted to earn the distinction, but Devin Haney is officially boxing's youngest title claimant. He said the unbeaten 20-year-old, this article was written 2 years ago. The unbeaten 20-year-old lightweight was upgraded from intern to full World Boxing Council at 135 without having to step 1 foot in the ring. The ruling came Wednesday afternoon during the ratings review portion of the WBC annual convention in Cancun, Mexico. Haney's got upgraded as a result of unified and now former WBC titleist Vasily Lomachenko being named as the sanctioning body's franchise champion. Let's keep reading. The move came after a request from Top Rank, whom promotes Vasily Lomachenko, is grooming the 3-division titleist and pound for pound for entrant for what was previously pitched as the undisputed between lightweight champion showdown winner of the December 14 clash between IBF titleist Richard Comey and undefeated mandatory challenger Teofimo Lopez. So my question, sir, is this. In order for me to believe, you say Lomachenko did not drop the belt. Okay. He didn't drop the belt.
Hey, okay.
So my question, sir, is this. Why would Top Rank request? And let's see right here. He said the move came as a Top Rank request whom promotes Lomachenko and is grooming the 3-division weight champion. So Top Rank requested to receive a higher belt than the one that they had. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to tell you why it doesn't make sense. So if you request to get a belt, sir, Devin Haney, okay, we go by your narrative. Lomachenko did not drop a belt. Then tell me how did Devin Haney get the belt? Why is that belt was not in the possession of Lomachenko in 2019? If Lomachenko did not drop that belt, sir, why are they saying here that Devin Haney received this belt, the WBC Council belt, without stepping in the ring? How did he get the belt? If Vasily Lomachenko did not drop the belt, you can't receive something. If this belt is still in my possession, what I'm saying. If this belt is still in my possession, there's no way that Devin Haney can have a belt that's still in my possession. In order for him to get this belt has to be removed from me somehow and given to him. And according to my understanding of this article, this belt was given, that Lomachenko had in his possession, was given to Devin Haney because Lomachenko requested to get something higher or be designated a franchise champion. So it's obvious that Lomachenko cannot have the regular WBC championship belt and the franchise championship belt at the same time. So since he cannot have the 2 belts at the same time, the WBC decided to give that belt to Devin Haney and then give Teofimo Lopez, give Lomachenko a separate belt. This doesn't make sense to me, sir. It just doesn't. Especially when this guy, Mauricio Suleiman, who don't nobody seem to be calling out. Especially when he says that the process is similar to how Jamal Charlo earned the distinction of becoming the WBC middleweight titleist. The Houston, Texas native previously served as an intern titleist to the full belt held by, at that time, world middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez, who was named the sanctioning body's first ever franchise champion. Canelo did not have to fight to become a franchise champion. This belt was given to him via email. Teofimo Lopez fought, and he got that belt. The intent of the franchise belt is to allow superstar fighters. So whoever they perceive Mauricio Suleiman as being a superstar fighter, this will allow them to receive the franchise belt, and it would give them the opportunity to enter blockbuster fights like Yildirim, without fear of being stripped of a title from failure to satisfy mandatory title defenses. So what I want to ask you, sir, is this. In order to be a champion, we know that you have to satisfy mandatory title defenses. That's a part of being a champion. That's a part of being a champion. In order to become a champion, you have to satisfy mandatory title defenses. That is the very definition of being a champion. This is why people can say Deontay Wilder defended his title 10 times. Now, whether he fought 10 mandatories or not, that's neither here nor there. But he defended his title 10 times or whatever the case may be. Muhammad Ali defended his title against all his mandatories. Anthony Joshua's defending his title against all his mandatories. Do you have to defend the WBC franchise belt? Is there any mandatories that you are required to fight? The answer is no. According to this article that was written 2 years ago. He say, question, could Loma have petitioned the WBC for a mandatory extension like AJ did with the WBO and Usyk? Rachel, I have no idea, sis. He say, coach, until I see otherwise, franchise belt is now the NBF belt. Man, listen, Mauricio Suleiman is the author of confusion, guys. This is all I'm saying. Mauricio Suleiman is the author of confusion. He said it's a participation trophy. They are giving them away like government cheese. No, the article says Top Rank requested the franchise belt. Loma said in the interview he was told the franchise belt was an honor, not a real belt. Guess what, Graves? If the article did say Top Rank requested it, right? But why would the Top Rank request a franchise belt? My answer to that is maybe there was a mandatory that he would have had to defend that belt against. And I'm gonna tell you where am I getting this from? Because the franchise belt allows you the opportunity to avoid fighting mandatories. This we know because the article. This is what the article says. The franchise belt was designed to help superstar fighters having not to defend their belt against mandatories. Lomachenko said in the interview he was told the franchise belt was an honor, not a real belt. So guess what? Why did Lomachenko accept that belt? So HLD said all sanctioning bodies needs to order and mandate all mandatories immediately to avoid ducks unless champion is fight for unifications. Retro, what you say, fam? He said those sanctioning bodies been a mess since they started, but things have been worse the last 2 decades. Yes, it has.
Hey, okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not jumping down no fighters' throats because I know some of these beta males get very sensitive about certain fighters. You got some of these beta males in the YouTube. They get very sensitive about their fighters, their favorite fighters, or who they have relationships with, or whatever the case may be. I care nothing about the relationship. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm calling it the way I see it. And the way I see it, Mauricio Suleiman is the author of the confusion. That's the way I see it. That's my position. I'm sticking to that. That's my position. The franchise was given to him because he already had the belt and was elevated to the franchise. Mauricio can do what he wants with this belt. You're right about that, Mary. Mauricio can do whatever he wants with his belt. I totally agree. But guess what? I could do whatever I want in this channel and criticize it if I want to. It's a free country. But you're right about that. Mauricio Suleiman could do whatever he wants with his belt. You are 1,000% correct about that. Blue Sky said, no one would make me believe that Team Loma wasn't aware of Top Rank's requesting WBC franchise. Yeah, exactly. Especially since they say the fighter has the last say so in anything. Lomachenko could have easily said, you know what, man, I don't want to take that belt. If I got to drop my belt to get a franchise belt, no, I don't want that. So it still falls on the fighter. Devin was given a belt. Why is that any less being given a franchise belt? Exactly. I hit the nail right on the head, Elder. If you're going to say Devin was given the belt, he should not be recognized as a champion, then goddamn, because he received the email. Well, shit, Lomachenko received the belt email. What's the goddamn difference? Both belts came in the email. Both belts, you didn't have to fight for them. So what's the damn difference? And how do you decipher which belt, which email belt that you're going to make superior over the other one? But as the lady said, Mauricio Suleiman can do whatever he wants to with his belts. And he can. Only unified and undisputed champs get the franchise. So they will still have their IBF and WBO Mandos. Yeah, but they won't have to worry about fighting in the mandatories for the WBC franchise. He said no, but he say no, but I should be, especially if WBC recognized T.O. undisputed. Yeah, I mean, it's subjective to them. Again, Mauricio Suleiman is the author of the confusion. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is Mauricio Suleiman is the author of the confusion. Period. Bottom line, she said it would have been better if Top Rank had gotten an extension, did the Lomo T.O. fight, and then the winner of instead of being franchised. Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, Rachel. But again, hey, shout out to Mad Chad Boxing.
Hey, okay.
Mary says, she said, how many times have Mauricio explained it to us? And whatever he says is what we have to go by. As we can see, he doesn't pay us any mind. He's already said it over and over again. And guess what, Mary? Mauricio Suleiman has a right to say whatever he wants to say. As a content creator, I have a right to say what I want to say. Mauricio Suleiman doesn't give a damn about Coach Malachi Williams. And guess what, Mary? I don't give a fuck about him neither. Period. Or who on his side. I don't care. This is a free country, right? So it is what it is. I don't have to agree with his bullshit. He's still the author of the confusion. Bottom line. I'm not team sanctioning body. I'm not team Mauricio Suleiman. I'm not team promotional company. I'm not team certain fighters. I'm not team none of that. I care about the sport of boxing more than I care about the narrative. Fuck Mauricio Suleiman, as far as I'm concerned. And he can say fuck me too. I don't care. He has a right to do that. Loma wasn't told everything because even Suleiman had a hard time explaining on the franchise champion. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. Suleiman does not care about legacy. He's worse than his father. Way too greedy. Yeah, absolutely. Mary, it's subjective to you. He says, so why can't we just go by what Mauricio said, whether we like it or not? He changed it. And that father is it too. It's to it. All right, yeah, it is what it is, yeah. No, the thing is if you want to accept it, accept it. I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting it. He's all over the place with it, to me. You know what I mean? So if you want to accept it, it's not a big, to be honest with you, Mary, it's really not a big deal. There's nothing that Mauricio Suleiman or you or anyone that's going to say that's going to change my mind. And there's nothing that I'm going to say that's going to change Mauricio Suleiman or your mind. So we just going to agree to disagree on it. It's really not a big deal. We just disagree on it. The franchise belt didn't even make sense to begin with. Loma was already WBC and all he had to do was make sure Lopez versus Loma fight happened, since obviously it was for all of the belts. Redcliffe said Mauricio Suleiman originally said the franchise was never a traditional belt. Exactly. So they said, we just can't take what Mauricio Suleiman said? The reason why is because he said multiple things. Well, which one we gonna accept? Okay, well, we know what he said in the past. Don't worry about that, baby boy. Let's just accept what he's saying now. If you want to accept it, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to accept it. Mauricio Suleiman originally said the franchise was never a traditional belt or a title. He also said that it cannot be won or lost. So now it's transferable. It's a title, and it can be won or lost. Wow. Wow. Quinn Salt says Ugas Charlo didn't fight for their belt. They just know the WBC straight BS. Devin the real champ, and Lomo knows. Well, Ugas, he didn't fight for his belt, but in defense of Ugas, Quinn Salt, he did fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao had an opportunity to just beat him because he was supposed to be a real WBA champion, and we saw Ugas beat his ass. So now, we got that out the ring. As it relates for Charlo, as it relates to Charlo did receive his belt via email. He didn't petition for it. He didn't ask for it. It was given to him. But at the same time, Charlo didn't get an opportunity to fight the mandatory in order to win the belt. You see what I'm saying? So he didn't get the opportunity to fight to be able to win the belt. To be honest, to be fair to Charlo, he said whether it's confusing or not to us, they're like somebody owns a song. If they want to change the word, they can. I totally agree with that. You're preaching to the choir, Mary. Totally agree with that. They can do whatever they want to do with their belt. And I can do whatever I want to do about how I feel about the belt. WBC, shout out to Punch Drop Boxing. He said WBC says both parties, Haney and Ryan, requested to fight when everything opens up with the mass crowd. So Haney nor Ryan was ordered. Sampson petitioned for Fortuna versus Haney. Yet De La Hoya petitioned for Linares. Yeah, this shit all over the place. Shout out to Punch Drunk, man. Please subscribe to Punch. As it relates to JoJo Diaz, and what I tell you what. Nah, this what I want to do. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about what Michael Benson is saying? Because this franchise shit is just giving me a damn headache. Franchise giving me a headache. Again, I ain't on nobody's side. I'm not pushing no narratives. I'm not team nobody. I don't have a relationship with nobody. And I really don't want one. Don't want one. To be honest. Because I'm going to stay as unbiased, as fair as I possibly can. But Michael Benson says that never seen a situation in boxing before where a fighter has had 2 consecutive mandatories win their final eliminators, only to then turn down the world title shot against him. Is Michael Benson making this up? Is Michael Benson making this up? Is Michael Benson being biased towards Devin Haney? Is Michael Benson is in the pockets of Devin Haney? Is Michael Benson making this up? Haleen say, nope, he's correct. Mary say, no difference, Lomachenko. Mary, you got that. You got that. Whatever Mauricio Suleiman says, whatever you say, Mary, you're right. You're right. You got that. Now, this, I'm not going to keep going back and forth about the French fries belt. Whatever you say, sis, you got that. Mr. T says duckery. Is Michael Benson, do you agree with what Michael Benson said? Oh, you know what? Let's look at the poll. Sorry about that. I forgot all about the poll, guys. I forgot all about the poll. Let's look at the poll. What was the results of the poll? The poll is in. The poll says 66% of everybody who voted. We had 138 votes. We had 138 votes. 66% said that they believe that the franchise belt is a duck. 67%. Let's go back here again. The poll is done. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go ahead and what Michael Benson said. Is Michael Benson right, or is he capping for Devin Haney? Quentin Salt said Benson is on point. Thomas Jones said Benson is right. W. Harris said Noma never defended the WBC. Toby Bartlett says Bruce Gold's punch. Man, Chad. Yeah, salute to Bruce Gold. Salute the punch. Please subscribe to this channel. Lady Shan, please subscribe to Lady Shan's channel. Major Key Boxer, please subscribe to this channel. Mark Nash, subscribe to this channel. Do you agree with this? Someone said the only duckers are the promoters, not the fighters. They will fight their own shadow. I get what you're saying as related to that, Bond Scott, but then some people say the fighter has the last say so. So if the fighter has the last say so, then can we really blame it on the promoter? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong because we know the promoters run stuff. But you get what I'm saying, though. It can't be both ways. Can't have it both ways. Peter Varnard said Benson is a journalist. What more do you need to know? That's not the question I'm asking. My question is Michael Benson right? Has 2 mandatories pulled out of a fight with Devin Haney. That's it. Whether he's a journalist or not is irrelevant. I don't give a damn if he was King Kong. We're looking at the facts. Have 2 mandatory fighters who fight for Golden Boy have they pulled out of fighting Devin Haney? Whether whether a journalist said it, whether a stripper said it, whether a three-legged frog said it, it doesn't matter. Do we have receipts that two fighters pulled out? That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter where him being a journalist doesn't discredit him. Who he works for doesn't discredit him. Let's look at the facts of what he's saying. Is there anything factual about what he's saying? What is anything? Hunter Young say he is correct. How do you fight eliminators? They say, and then say, "Oh no, I wasn't serious about wanting the belt." John Doe said, "I don't want to be a champion next." Who says that? Exactly. So this is why I'm saying, why is Devin Haney being ducked? We off the franchise stuff. The franchise, I'm done with that. One side say this, another side say that, and then it's the truth right down the goddamn middle. And the problem is, this same guy who both sides are quoting has said 2 different things, 3 different things, 4 different things. So we ain't even go through all that. We're going to agree to disagree on that. W. Harris say Tyson didn't want to fight Holyfield. You know why? No, Tyson went to prison. Mike Tyson went to prison before he could fight Evander Holyfield. They were going to fight, but Mike Tyson got convicted in 1992 and he went to prison. That's facts. Daryl says, nobody wants to win the email belt, I guess. I know I wouldn't want it. I'd rather be the real champ. Who's the real champ? And last time I checked, Devin Haney did not request to receive a belt. But you do have 2 other fighters who have requested to get a belt via email. Facts. You have 2 fighters in the sport of boxing that have requested to get franchise belts. But Devin Haney never requested to receive a belt via email. And this ain't no cap for Devin Haney. This facts. When Mauricio made the franchise, oh man, I ain't even keep going to that. I ain't read nothing else about no franchise belt no more. Nehemiah says, these dudes don't want to be champ, just clout chase. Hunter Young said he is correct. I believe they fought eliminators to become mandatories, but I guess they weren't serious about the belt. HLD says fighters have the last say so by taking the promoters to court. But who's got time to make that fight? Yeah. Garcia won a title eliminator and tried to fight in another title eliminator. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Harris said Lomo fought Tio thinking it would be easier than Haney. Yeah, he miscalculated. Lomachenko ran up on Teofimo Lopez and ain't realized he was gonna get his ass beat that night. Then Lomachenko said that his shoulder was hurting and he watched the fight. He really didn't lose. Man, Lomo, you got your ass whooped. Teofimo gave you that work. Teofimo gave you that work, Lomachenko. He beat your ass that night. Literally. And in the 12th round, he stepped the gas up on you. Jay Gray said no PBC fighter has the last say so when offered fights from other promoters. Nah, they got to listen to Al. Triple S says Mike Tyson, he say no one duck pillow hands. He's not a threat. Andy C say Mike Tyson ain't scared of nobody. Nah, Mike Tyson had went to prison. He ain't ducked no Evander Holyfield. Halim says probably Haney is a high-risk fighter. So, do anybody agree with what Michael Benson is saying? Let's see. John Doe, what you say, fam? The problem is people have lost respect for the belt in this case because of what the WBC has done. Exactly. It goes back to Mauricio Suleiman. That's all I'm saying. Whether you agree with me or not is irrelevant. I'm not trying to get you to agree with me. And you're probably not going to get me to agree with you. That's not the point. The point is, I think the way I think because of what I'm seeing. Period. The man got two mentors that refuse to fight him. That's a duck to me. If you drop a belt to avoid fighting a mandatory, that's a duck to me. Riddick Bowe, one of my favorite fighters, threw his belt in the garbage can to prevent, because he wanted to fight Evander Holyfield. He did not want to be mandated to fight Lennox Lewis, and Lennox Lewis was pressing him. I want that fight. Lennox Lewis wanted to fight for the belt. Riddick Bowe threw it in the garbage. He ducked Lennox Lewis. Gonna keep that same energy. I've never seen a fighter, and I agree with Michael Benson. I've never seen a situation in boxing ever in the history of boxing where two consecutive mandatories turned down a world title shot. What fighter turns down a world title shot? Now, this is another thing. Oh, I got to call you out. I got to call you double standards out. Jamal Charlo, it is rumored that he had an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez, and that Jamal Charlo turned down the opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez. There are some anti-Jamal Charlo channels out there there are some pro Canelo Alvarez fans channels out there. I mean, they are pro anything Canelo, anything certain fighters. I just say that. Not gonna say his name, but there are some pro fighters, content creators out there. And it's on all sides. It's on all sides. He said that Jamal Charlo turned down an opportunity to fight Canelo. He ducked Canelo. So if we're going to say that about Jamal Charlo, we got to say it about Ryan Garcia and JoJo Diaz. Michael Buffer said, you're wrong about Bo, coach. He didn't duck Lewis. He threw his belt in the garbage, sir. He threw his belt in the garbage. He threw his belt in the garbage. Show me where I'm wrong at. He threw his belt in his garbage to prevent fighting Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was his mandatory. He threw the belt in the garbage. Now, why he threw it in the garbage, that can be disputed. But as far as I'm concerned, that's ducking, in my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, Michael, but in my opinion. And Riddick Bowe is one of my favorite fighters. I love Riddick Bowe. If Mike Tyson, who I was a fanboy of when I was growing up, if Mike Tyson would have said, you know what, man, I'm going to drop my belt because I don't want to fight Buster Douglas. He ducked Buster Douglas. Bon Scott said Bowe got robbed against Lewis in the Olympics. Thomas Jones says, coach, are you going to watch the fights tonight? Yeah, I guess I'll watch it for the hell of sake of watching it. Yeah, I'll watch it. So Daryl said, why won't Haney sign with Top Rank for Undisputed Fight? He's a free agent. He's just sitting around crying about being ducked. So Daryl, you're saying that in order for Devin Haney to get this fight, he needs to sign with another promotional company. You know what? You might have a point, but we don't know the business aspect of it. We don't know if Devin Haney was to sign with Top Rank. We don't know, would that be advantageous to him as it relates to from a business standpoint? Maybe he's working on that in the background. We don't know. Mary says, why would you want your fighter to have a belt that he never fought for? Graham Taylor says, and Lewis called him Chicken Bow. W. Harris says, Coach, Haney is making history. This has never been happening in any division ever. Never. Never. And so I don't see anybody saying that they disagree with what Michael Benson is saying. Mara says, I like Riddick Bowe, but he ducked that smoke. I like him too, but he did. And I didn't like Lennox Lewis. Listen, when Lennox Lewis was boxing, I hated Lennox Lewis. I was a Lennox Lewis hater. So for me to sit back and say Riddick Bowe ducked him, I mean, goddamn. Bro, I got to call it like I said. He did that. I thought he ducked him in the 90s when he threw the belt in the trash, and 20-some years later, I say that now. And I hated Lennox Lewis. I don't hate Lennox Lewis anymore. Shout out to Lennox Lewis, man. Get the Ali Bell for Lennox Lewis. Shout out to Lennox Lewis. I don't hate Lennox Lewis anymore. But when I was a fanboy of Mike Tyson, Pernell Whitaker, of course, Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Roy Jones, and Marvin Hagler, fanboy, I was a fanboy back then. Andy C says, remember Bowe's manager. That strange dude. Yeah, you're talking about, I think it was Rockman. Well, his promoter was on Rockman. Rock Newman. Sorry about that. That duped him, that duped the belt with him. Whatever happened to that guy? You talking about Rock Newman? Michael Buffer said, Coach, something went down behind the scenes. I'll show you. Yeah, you got to show me that. You got to show me that, fam. Send it to me. Send it to me, fam. You got to show me that. Dude, bro, said Haney's guarantees are too high, and he's not exciting enough to draw fans in to invest. All right, so Haney's guarantees are too high. That's one. And Haney is not exciting enough to draw fans to invest. Okay. All right. Let's say we run with that. When Canelo fought Yildirim, was that exciting enough to invest in? Let's find another example. When Jamal Charlo fought Montiel, was that exciting enough for fans to invest in? When it's a whole bunch of fights out there that my mind is going blank right now. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. So we're just gonna. He said, "Riddick Bowe ducked Lennox Lewis." Cannonball said, "How old are you? How do you hate fighters that old?" I don't know if you're talking about me, Canopy. I don't hate Lennox Lewis. I was saying when I was a fanboy back then when I was younger. We talking about 20. We talking about 25 years ago. You know what I mean. So I don't know if you're talking to me, but I don't hate Lennox Lewis. I don't hate no fighter. But I'm saying back then when I was fanboy, when you're a fanboy, you got to you're picking sides. You're picking sides. Yeah, no, his name was Rock Newman. Rock Newman. Yeah, Halim has an issue with Lennox Lewis. I don't know what it is. I don't know if Lennox did something to Halim's. I don't know. Lennox. Now listen, there's something about Lennox Lewis that gives Halim a fit. Fit. Bruce Gold says Leon Spinks ducked Norton in favor of Ali rematch. Norton fought Holmes, and the rest was history. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Because I think Norton would have beat the brakes off of Leon Spinks. Cannabis said, what's Haney's guarantee? Contract experts. I don't know. I don't know what his guarantee is. You would have to talk to Bill about that. I don't know. I have no idea. I want to see Haney. He's the best. I want to see the best fights. The best fight the best is where I'm from. That's where I'm at, Third Coast. I'm not here to put fighters in protective custody. I'm not here to say, oh, man, you got to sign with the PBC. Or no, you ain't with Top Rank. Or you ain't with Golden Boy. Oh, see what it is. See, you need to be with this YouTube channel. Or you need to be with that. Look, dude, I ain't on none of that. I'm not on none of that. Not me. I'm saying not me. You see what I'm saying? I'm not on none of that. I ain't down. My name ain't Brandy. I just want to see the best fighters fight the best fighters. I'm not here to cap for fighters. I'm not here to put fighters in protective custody. I'm not going to put fighters in protective custody. You see what I'm saying? Now, what I will say is this here. We're not going to throw Teofimo Lopez under the bus. Because Teofimo Lopez is just a fighter. So we're not going to throw Teofimo Lopez under the bus. Teofimo Lopez didn't create the franchise belt. Teofimo Lopez wanted to become undisputed. If Lomachenko decided to relieve himself of the belt or whatever the case may be, then so be it. That ain't Teofimo's fault. All I'm saying is Mauricio Suleiman is the author of confusion. I'm going to stick to that. I'm not going to change that. And what I'm saying is, have you guys ever seen a situation where two mandatories, according to what Michael Benson is saying, that ain't according to what he's saying, this is a fact. Two people who fought to become a mandatory to win a title back out of the fight, turn down their position. Ain't nobody refuting that. Nobody refuting that. Nobody refuting that. Nobody refuting that. He said Haney no longer has a guarantee. He has a guarantee with Matchroom, but he's a free agent now. Yeah, he is a free agent now. Bon Scott said, Coach, you are fair. Even if you like a fighter, he needs to pull up. You do it. Yeah, I need to pull up. I'm not here to cap for no fighter. You know, me capping for a fighter and trying to be on somebody's good side, that shit ain't gonna help me. That's why I don't, you know, I mean, what I gotta do is what? Listen, are we gonna see the fights? We've seen what Josh Taylor do. I respect the hell out of Josh Taylor because he got it the hard way. And he's not even my favorite fighter. You know, but he's one of the fighters I really, really like. He got it the hard way. But ain't nobody seen him coming. Pause. Ain't nobody seen. So, Pause got me saying pause. Pause. Halim said, I agree with Benson, Coach. Canopy say the truth. The WBC has created this mess. Yeah, they created this mess, fam. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, brother. It's the WBC. That's all I'm saying. Don't get mad at no fighters. Now, if you want to talk about fighters turning down their mandatories, you know, the mandatories turning down eliminators, you know, turning down fights in order to fight for a championship. Now we can talk about the fighters. I can talk about the Instagram model, Ryan Garcia, because he turned down the fight when he was the mandatory to fight Devin Haney. So you say, he turned it down because Devin Haney really ain't no champ. Okay. Devin Haney really ain't no champ. Okay.
Hey, okay.
JoJo Diaz turned it down because he really ain't no champ.
Hey, okay.
Devin Haney ain't no champ now. Jamal Charlo ain't no champ there. Mauricio Suleiman, I know people putting you on the protective custody, but guess what? He said turn it down for what? I am not one of them. I am not one of them, sir. You created a bunch of foolishness in the sport of boxing with your sanctioning bodies, and you have a right to do that. You are a multimillionaire. You have a right to do that, sir. But guess what? I have a right as a content creator to criticize that bullshit. First time I ever spoke to Halim, we got to an argument about Lennox. Woo! William Posey said Ryan did duck. HLD say, where's Mr. Bill Haney? I have no idea. I have no idea. Again, I never reached out to Bill Haney. HLD, that's why I had him say that. You know, have I reached out to you? Do I have a personal relationship with you? I don't know Mr. Bill Haney's phone number. I don't know his email address. And he just popped up on my channel and I didn't reach out to him. I didn't ask nobody. I didn't ask no content creator that I know to reach out to him for me. I didn't do any of that. He popped up on the team, and I'm not capping for Mr. Bill Haney at all. I'm not capping for Devin Haney. But goddamn it, I'm not capping for no doggone any other fighter as well. I'm not going to cap for Ryan Garcia, and I'm not going to cap for JoJo Diaz. I'm not going to cap for them. Can't do it. Thomas Jones said, did Young receive title eliminated chance from Foreman win? Haney won the WBC tournament that T.O. dropped out of in case of the IBF belt from Comey. Yeah, wait a minute, wait. Oh yeah, Teofimo beat Comey for he won the IBF belt from Comey, right? I think he did, yeah. Hey man, I got to call it like I see it though. Okay. So Mary says, look how Haney got that belt. They don't want it. Okay. King KO said, Coach, keep it real with Bill, though. Oh, he said, Coach kept it. He said, Coach kept it real with Bill, though. Yeah. Haney is being ducked because nobody wants that fake belt. Okay.
Hey, okay.
Mary says Haney is being ducked because nobody wants that fake belt. So Mary is acknowledging what Michael Benson is saying. Haney is being ducked, i.e., the title of the show. Dundee says them fighters don't want to put no losses on their record this early in their career, so they're running from Haney. Yeah, but it's no guarantee that they're going to lose to Haney. Doesn't make sense. He said, Coach M, you scared him off. He wasn't ready for the smoke. Nah, you know, I wasn't going to like smoke him. You know what I mean? I have no, you know, I ain't on all that. I'm not, to be honest with you, HLD, I'm not on all that. You know, I let the other guys do that. I'm not on all that. But I'm gonna just call it. Now, if me giving my analysis of it from my point of view, giving my opinion on it, is smoking somebody, then so be it. But I'm not in it for that. HLD, Bill got a phone call. All I know is, listen, Sheldon, I don't know Mr. Bill Haney. And I have not reached out to any content creator to get his information. So no content creator can say, yo, man, Coach had reached out to me on the low. He shot Bill a text message and had Bill come on. Nah, Bill said himself that didn't happen. Daryl says, boo-boo duck Charlo. Okay. Okime says, they scared of Haney, but what sucks is he's getting froze out. Yeah. Yeah, when you have Toby Bartlett says, Coach Malachi, the no cap coach. Yeah. I can't do it, though. I can't do it. I'm gonna get mine the hard way. Pause. I'm gonna try to stay right down the middle. It's possible. If I gotta lose some people along the way, I lose them. It's fine. It's fine. I have no problem with that. Y'all be listening to those crazy things that's coming out of Bill's mouth. The WBC is sanctioning body. What they say is what it is, not what Bill says. I totally agree with that. What the sanctioning body says goes. I totally agree with that. But they are the author of the confusion. So that's all I'm saying. Well, listen, I can't tell another man what to do in his own house. The WBC is the house of Mauricio Suleiman. He can do whatever it is he want to do with his belts. He can eat them, make sandwiches out of them. He can wipe his ass with them belts. I don't give a damn. But me being a content creator, objective content creator, I got to call it the way I see it. And the way I see it, he created the confusion. But guess what? Mauricio Suleiman, sir, you have a right to create the confusion. You got a bunch of sanctioning, you got a bunch of belts that everybody paying fees for. From a business standpoint, it makes perfect sense. From a business standpoint, to be honest. From a business standpoint, it makes perfect sense. Thank you. That was my favorite era. Would love to chop it up one day with you, fam. Oh, you talking about Bruce? Mary says, Haney should never have accepted the belt. He should have said, no, I want to fight for it. I don't want it given to me. Now that's an interesting perspective. You know, but I think every fighter has to do what they feel like is best for them. You know what I mean? Charlo and his team turned down the Andrade fight on their side of the street. Yeah, PBC don't really do cross-promotional fights, Mr. T. Mary, doesn't matter how Haney got it. Can you, Ryan, JoJo, Loma, beat them for it? They don't want. Right, so Mary acknowledged that people are ducking Devin Haney because they don't want his belt. So what belt do they want? King KO said Bill Haney thought this was a fanboy channel. That's why he probably left. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think anybody who know me know that I don't do that. Haney's power don't scare nobody. Again, I don't know anything about. Again, I'm not banging on Bill Haney. I don't know the brother. I love what he's doing with this. With it. He's a good father, and I love what he's doing with his boys. I love that. Haney is partially at fault for him being froze out. He won't sign to Aram, who controls 135. Yeah, and that's the same thing that people say about Crawford. He should have signed with the PBC in order to get those fights. So I get it. You got to sign with certain sides of the street in order to get certain fights to satisfy the fans. I get it. I get it. HLD said, Coach M, if Plant beats Canelo, does he earn a spot on your Wall of Fame? Hell no. Nah. But he will earn my respect. Like if Caleb Plant beat Canelo, I'm gonna say, man, you know what, dog? That's a bad MF. Now I've been banging on Color Me Bad, Caleb Plant, but I'm like, Caleb Plant might be the one, boy. I don't know what Carmen Serene at. I don't know, Carm. Caleb Plant might be the one. I don't know. Cannabis says, so vacate the title. So a vacant title is better. Yeah, that don't make no sense. I don't agree with vacating no belt. You know what I mean? Like, why would you vacate a belt? That doesn't make sense to me. Why, you know what I mean? And then if you vacate a belt, then people say, oh man, he had a chance to become a champion and he vacated. So that's proof that he doesn't want to fight nobody. So Haney is a damn if you do, damn if you don't. And I get it. It's certain fighters that people just don't like. And I get it. I understand. Trust me, I get the narrative. I'm just not on the narrative pushing bandwagon. Haney wanted the belt so he can keep the WBC World Champion on his IG bio. I just want to see why no one is fighting him. Why nobody is fighting him for it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Mary says, so do you agree that Lopez is undisputed since he beat Loma? Hey, Haney beat nobody for that belt. Hey, man, listen. It don't even matter what I think. Whatever Mauricio Suleiman says. You ought to know my position on that. Whatever Mauricio Suleiman says. Quinn Salt says, they want you to hate on Haney's, coach. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I mean, trust me, I know who the I want you to hate on Devin Haney and Bill Haney, the guy. I know who they are. It ain't happening. I'm not gonna do it. But I'm not gonna hate on another fighter neither. Now I have hated on Caleb Plant. I confess. I have hated on Caleb Plant. I said some harsh criticism. Some would even say I hated on Deontay Wilder. Some would even say that. And you know what? When I go back, some would even say I hated on Tyson Fury when I showed him pictures of kissing other men. Some would say that I hate on quite a few fighters. Some would say that. I just got to call it the way I see it. If it's been interpreted as hate, so be it. You know what I mean? You have a right to feel that way. On this channel, you have a right to disagree with me. I'm not going to block you or none of that. Say what you want to say, fam, because I'm not going to be like the Alphabet Boy channels. And shout out to the Alphabet Boy channels. But I'm not going to be like them and just block people because I don't like what you say. As long as you're not being racist, if you be racist, that's the only way you'll be blocked. Other than that, you ain't got to worry about that over here. Say what you want to say. You ain't got to agree with me. You can curse me out for all you want. You can curse me out. I won't block you. I'll be like, okay.
Okay.
Hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because when you take my position, you put yourself out there to be attacked and be open. And so if I dish it, I got to know how to take it. If I dish it, I got to know how to take it. You see what I'm saying? If you dish it, you got to know how to take it. I know how to take it because I dish it. You see what I'm saying? I know how to take it because I dish it. That's the era that I come from. If you talk it, you got to walk it. You talk that shit, you better take it when it come back to you. TFMO can be regarded as a consensus number one, but not undisputed. It's pretty clear how undisputed works, unless you're slow. Lisa says Canelo stops Plant.
Okay.
Mary Ross say that's what Diaz said. He came on one of those channels and he said that they sent Charlo an offer. Okay. Third Coast says they block me all the time. Yeah, man. Everyone knows Bill Haney pays the Alphabet Boys to push Devin as the real champ. Yeah, now I will say this. It does seem like, I'm not, well, you know what? I'm not even in the circle, but from what I've been hearing, that yeah, some of the alphabet boy channels, Bill Haney has a really good relationship with them, and they push the narrative. As you guys know, I'm not affiliated with no channel. I'm not affiliated with any alphabet boy channels or no channel, so I'm not pushing any narrative. I'm not pushing any narrative. I am a free agent to say whatever the hell I want to say, regardless of what. No one called me and say, hey, dog, look, you got to get on code, dog. You got to say this, baby boy. Okay. Listen, you got to say what we want you to say.
What?
You got to say what we want you to say.
What?
All right, this is the narrative today. Right now, what we're going to do, baby boy, we're going to push this narrative or push that narrative. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
To this day.
Can't do it. You see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, if that's what's going on, then so be it. But that's why I let it be known. You see what I'm saying? I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. So, Cannibal said, are you saying Haney is the real champ? Of course, what are you saying? To me, Devin Haney is the WBC champion. To me. But it doesn't matter what I feel. What matters is Mauricio Sulaiman said that whatever Mauricio Sulaiman says. But if you're asking me, Devin Haney is the real WBC champion. Teofimo Lopez is the WBC franchise champion. I think that's clear, according to what a franchise belt is, a designation. So that's how I see it. He said Bill going to send Coach a check to make a video that Devin is a real champ. Yeah, no, I ain't gonna be. No, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. ESPN pushing Loma Tio narratives because ESPN is what? They have a business relationship with Top Rank. That's why. And they supposed to do that on W. Harris. They supposed to do that. Mary Ross says, Coach, Punch Drunk knows all about the Haney bout with Loma and Lopez. Ask him. Daryl says Canelo gonna roll that plant and smoke it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Mary said that's a pathetic way to make history. Yeah, especially when you have fighters ducking you. Especially when you have fighters actively ducking you. The Earth says y'all don't see the PBC pushing Bud Crawford. No, because Bud Crawford is on the other side of the street. Remember, the Urge. Remember, PBC. They have in-house fights. All of these promoters have in-house fights. To be honest with you, for the most part, for the most part, brother. The Urge. Most of these. That's what's going on. So that's why we're not seeing the best fight the best. We're seeing. I mean, we'll see some cases as long as the best fighters are with the same promotional company. That's what's going on as related to that. Done Deal says no one have to pay for greatness. Nah. Mr. T says Sulaiman said both of them are champions and later started sweating when questioned about it. Man, whatever Sulaiman say, bro, it's like it's subjective. However he feels when he wake up in the morning. 1 minute he may say one thing, next minute he may say something on one YouTube channel, another minute he may say something on another YouTube channel, another minute he may say something that he said 2 years ago. Man, I'm done with that belt shit. Ask me, I think Devin Haney is the WBC champion. Teofimo Lopez is the WBC franchise champion. And whatever Mauricio Sulaiman said, that's right too, I guess. Whatever he said. So that's me. Nobody's going to change my mind about it. Nobody. You can talk till your lips fall off. You will be wasting your breath. Save your breath for something more important, like breathing. I've seen everything. When I say I've seen everything, I've seen what angle everyone has came from as related to this. And I haven't said anything. I've just been watching it for months. But all I know is, so I know who side on whose side, what's what. I trust me, I know it. I just don't say shit. Because it doesn't, But as it relates to Devin Haney, JoJo Diaz, that fight more than likely is not going to happen. Oscar De La Hoya's pretty much nipped that in the bud. He is, Devin Haney's mandatory. He's not fighting because whatever. I think De La Hoya got something to do with that. Ryan Garcia, he decided to kick rocks as well. It is what it is. So, other than that, man, we're going to roll out. We're going to give everybody a shout out, everybody. Everybody a shout out. You know how we do it. Today is TWD Sundays. TWD Sundays. And we're going to do this thing OJ Juman style. Shout out to Cannon B. Foreman. Okay. Shout out to Daryl McCraney. Okay. Shout out to Mr. T in the building. Okay. Shout out to William Posey. Okay. Shout out to W. Harris. Salute, fam. Okay. Shout out to Thomas Jones. Okay. Shout out to Mary Ross. Okay. Shout out to Third Coast Royalty. What the link read, baby? Shout out to Quint Salt. Okay. Shout out to Punch Drunk Boxing, who came in today. Shout out to Lady Shan Done Them Season. Shout out to Major Key Boxing, who came in today as well. Okay. Salute. Please subscribe to their YouTube channels. Shout out to HLD in the building. Shout out to Soberanis, fam. I hope I know I'm butchering your name. Okay. Shout out to Hunter Young. Okay. Shout out to Red Cliff and Jay Graves. Okay. Shout out to the Queen, Karma Serene. Okay. Shout out to Thomas Jones and Haleen, the Lennox Lewis hater. Okay. Shout out to Coach Asgay. Shout out to MTK Global. Okay. Shout out to Martin Ramos. Okay. Shout out to Bon Scott. Okay. Shout out to Blue Sky and the Queen, Lisa Bales. Okay. Shout out to my co-host, Shelton Moore. Okay. Let's hit the Ali Bell for Shelton. Dude told me, he said, man, you know what, man? You a biter. You bitch, Showbiz Still Dope. He got the Tyson Bell. I said, yeah, I did get the idea from Showbiz Still Dope. I admitted that on several streams. I have the Ali Bell. And that got named the Ali Bell by Shelton. They say, man, when you took what Blue said, when you say dropping that half a dub on your boy, you stole that from Blue. Yes, I did steal that from Blue. Facts. I say it with no shame. Come to your trap and take over your trap. Shout out to Moneybag Yo. And I'm going to keep stealing. If I see something I like that you doing and I like it, I'm going to Debo that shit. Tuck your chain when Debo walk in the building. Okay. Shout out to The Urge. What the link read, fam, and Done Deal. Okay. Shout out to Bon Scott and Peter Von Arks and Graham Taylor. Okay. Shout out to Daryl McCraney. What's going on, fam? Okay. Shout out to Ronnie 7x9. Okay. Ronan. Sorry about that, fam. Okay. Shout out to Triple X. What's going on? And the Queen, Arlette. Okay. Shout out to Daryl. What's going on, fam? Okay. Shout out to who else we have? Shout out to Hunter Young. Hunter, what's going on, bro? Okay. Shout out to Dude Bro with the link read, fam. Okay. Shout out to Triple X and King K.O. Okay. Shout out to who is that? Who is this? I don't want to butcher your name. Oh yeah, shout out to Done Deal.
What?
Shout out to Done Deal. Okay. Shout out to Mr. T.
What?
Shout out to Mr. T. Okay. Shout out to Rod Rev Shows. What's going on, fam? Okay. Shout out to King K. Izzo. Okay. Shout out to OG, double OG, triple OG, quadruple OG. Okay. Shout out to Andy C. Shout out to Andy C. Okay. Shout out to The Urge. Okay. Shout out to Boat Hype. What the link read, baby? Okay. Yeah, man, we're going to watch that card tonight. Showtime. We got to watch the fights tonight. Okay. Shout out to Bold and Understanding. What's going on, Bold, man? Y'all please subscribe to Bold and Understanding YouTube channel. Okay. Shout out to Bill Haney for hopping on. As you guys know, you saw it. I was just as surprised as anyone. Shout out to Bill Haney and shout out to Devin Haney. Shout out to Teofimo Lopez. Shout out to Canelo Alvarez. Shout out to Ryan Garcia, the Instagram model. Shout out to JoJo Diaz. Shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. And shout out to Mauricio Suleiman. If I said something that offended you guys, I meant every goddamn word I said. Okay. With all due respect. Okay. Shout out to Jake Paul. What'd you say? Jake Paul, undefeated knockout artist. Okay. But Jake Paul getting that money, boy. Okay. Shout out to Ariel Espinal. Shout out to Troy's Smoke Alarm. Okay. Shout out to Troy Graham, man. Shout out to Troy, man. I had dropped the link, Troy, but you ain't come on. Okay. Shout out to Tycho TV. Shout out to Uwapo. What the link read, baby? Okay. Shout out to Blue Sky. And shout out to my main man, Retro Boxing and Documentaries. Please subscribe to my brother Blood, man. Retro Boxing and Documentaries. Sorry about that.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Aquarius Brown and Chris Carr.
Hey, okay.
Chris Carr says, one last question, Coach. Do you think Devin Haney is the best at 135? The only way I'm gonna find that out, sir, everybody in 135 have to fight each other. I'll be lying if I say that I feel that Devin Haney is the best at 135 when Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez hasn't fought yet. When Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko hasn't fought yet. When all of those guys fight each other, when if he can get those two fights, then I can be able to answer that question.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to, I think we got everybody. Dude, bro.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Rider of the Storm.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to, I think that's it. Shout out to Andy C. No Cap. He says, shout out to Bruce Goals. Bruce Goals with the link read, baby. Other than that, man, Blue Sky say, if I offended you, I mean every goddamn word. Cause yeah, hey man, it is what it is, man. I ain't here to make no friends, homie. I'm not here to make no friends. I ain't copping no deuces. It is what it is, man. Like it or love it, it is what it is, man. I have to stay consistent. It is what it is. Other than that, man, this is our boy Coach Malachi Williams. We will be on tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tune in. I have the merchandise dropping. I have that New Media Today USA merchandise dropping. So please support the old boy. We have some fire hoodies. T-shirts, all of that is coming. Other than that, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. This is our boy Coach Malachi Williams. See you guys tomorrow. New Media Today USA Boxing at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go. Come on.